We're back. Welcome back, everyone. We are playing Of the Devil. If anyone remembers when I did episode 0, it was like, dang, I don't even know how many months back, like 5? I adored this game. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like Cyberpunk Ace Attorney, but like it's more of like a thriller and like a horror and kind of thing. The character writing is so good, and I fell in love with it. I remember I was like, oh, let me check it out, and we streamed the whole thing straight. It was like, I don't know, 2-3 hour stream. I don't know how long episode 1 is, but I did, because I had this 2 episodes out. I've been waiting. I put it on my throne, but it didn't get funded, but it was on sale today, so I was like, screw it. I really love that game. And here we are. I don't know how long episode 1 is. We'll see. I have like a thing in like 3-ish hours. So you might have to, like, that's our hard limit, 3 hours, so it's still pretty generous. But I do have it scheduled for tomorrow also, so if we don't finish episode 1 today, we'll definitely finish it tomorrow, probably. Unless it's like 15 hours or something, I don't know. I'm so excited. Oh, goodness. I see where this save is, because I remember very clearly finishing episode 0. Hold on. Hey, Six, welcome in. How you doing? I'm trying to figure out how to play episode 1. There we go. Hey, Dick Six. I hope you're having a good day. It's pretty late in this time zone. You can choose to play episode 1 in high roller mode. In high roller mode, you're limited to 1 save slot, and you won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. Quick saving and autosaves will be disabled as well. The minimum ante for hands will be increased. The minimum and maximum penalties for answering incorrectly during trial gameplay will be increased. The maximum ante will be increased as well, allowing you to earn the largest possible high score created in this episode. Completing this episode in high roller mode will also unlock an exclusive phone charm that can't be earned in any other way. You turn high roller mode off at any time in the settings, but in order to turn it back on, you have to restart the episode. High roller mode is intended to encourage risk-taking and discourage save scumming. Consider enabling it if you want to pursue this mystery like a true gambler. Ooh. For the perfectionist, play like a real gambler. You're just EP being odding up the storm. Hope you're well. Hell yeah, I'm glad you've been odding it up. Oh, but I've been great. I took like a week off for the holiday. I was considering taking off completely all the way till past New Year's, but I do have a comm for New Year's, and I was like, I wanted to play Of the Devil anyway. So here we are. And now I'm super tempted to play this like a gambler. Screw it. Welcome to the high roller tables. Enjoy the thrill. Disable tutorials. You can turn them back on in settings. Now I'll turn them on. It's been a while. Listen, I wanted to thank you for coming over. Figures you'd notice. Anyone could tell something's bothering you. You're the first person to say anything. What happened? The police came to see me. In public? No, they wanted to be considerate of my privacy. That's a first. They wanted to talk to me about the other week. About my whereabouts. And yours. Told them I didn't know anything. They must have loved that. Funny. What would you have done? In your shoes? Probably cursed them out. Yeah, I could see that. Is there anything you want to ask me? No. Nothing for a favor in return? No favors lost between friends, I say. Sounds like a toast. Why not? To friends. I'll raise a glass to that. Glass 'em! Vandalism detected. Incident logged. I've got Robocop, tell ya. Reported at 8:55 a.m. local time. Geopositional data encoded. If I could have all citizens in the area. Oh god. Missiles impaired. Facial recognition compromised. Pinging nearby options for corroborating evidence. Sure the killer com's gonna lock in. Hell yeah. I'm excited. It's coming up pretty good so far. Hey, he's lining up every phone on the block. We need to go now, or what? He'll use his outdoor voice. He'll have us pinned down to our dental records before we can say we're... Morning, Officer Leo. You look different today. You did something new with your uniform? Good morning to you too, Morgan citizen. To answer your question, no, I have not undergone any recent retrofitting. If you'd like a more detailed record of my maintenance history, you can make a request for... I've got it. It must be the new coat of paint. You're referring to the act of vandalization that just took place. Only the most recent one. Super Cop over here has a new dent every time I see him. Scars honorably earned in the line of duty, scanning the street for jaywalkers and loiterers. Don't worry, ma'am. Oh, woo. Report has been filed and the police are working to resolve the situation. Civil disobedience at this time of day. What's the world coming to? They're just stragglers, ma'am. There was a period of unrest in the area last night. Unlicensed protesting and demonstrating without a permit. Can't see Marcus' inspiration for the characters out of Morgan. It's so... Every time I look at her, I'm like, yeah, I could see what you were going for. It's even funny, in the concept art, she was like a brunette with messy hair. I kind of digged it. Well, I hope you threw up the book at them. The disturbance was handled, but individual instances of volatility may occur during the next 48 hours as we work to apprehend outside actors. I keep delivering him like RoboCop, but he looks very humanoid. Thanks for the forecast. Says that bleeding stop on its own. Androids don't have blood, ma'am. This is just a leakage of oxidizing fluid. My mistake. So you don't need a bandage, I take it. The leakage will dry shortly. With that conversation thoroughly exhausted, I let my mind wander as I wait for the signal to cross. I unfocus my eyes and dull my hearing, sinking beneath the hum of the city street. Fading through the lives bustling around me like so much sea foam. Across the way, a large man with worn hands and an ill-fitting belt turns out to a gorilla-like hulk of a machine and cuffs his hand in front of his mouth. Yo, 61! The machine halts his lifting with uncanny precision and turns to him. We're going on break. The robot tilts his head to the side. You can't work the plier without schwinn up... What the heck is that even? You can't work the plier without schwinn up on the roof, so... I don't know. Take a load off, will you? Understood, came the over-enunciated reply. The man already walking away tosses a dismissive wave behind him. Yeah, understood. A moment after the man turns the corner, the robot attempts to mimic the hand wave to no one in particular. Dan Copper's on every street corner. A bus stop, what used to be a bus stop, now a charging station. A passionate young man voices his democratic opinion loud enough for the whole street to hear. They declare martial law for what I wasn't even looking. It's very obvious. Yeah. Small woman beside him trying hard to pay even smaller shifts in her seat. Well, they're just doing their job, so... Boss don't have jobs, except the ones they stole from us. Real. Real as hell. Notice I don't patrol nearly so heavy in Uptown, even on the worst days. His audience, captive by virtue of sharing the same charging pole as him, shuffles, coughs, and stares even harder at their phones. The woman looks at her knees and pulls at her shirt. You're kind of embarrassing me right now. He makes a vague gesture with his hand to indicate he stepped off his soapbox, and the shoulders of everyone around him relax a centimeter. Oh, now that's just... A woman with exhaustion in her eyes sighs as a hologram floating above her chrome-plated palm, while a rounded, smooth-looking android pushes a carriage behind her. Ellen, walk around the block. Get her some air, would you? Apparently this call can't wait, and it's louder than a garbage disposal out here. Of course, ma'am. I'd be glad to. The android punctuates its sentence with a sound halfway between a whir and a purr, which, judging by the coos and giggles coming from the child, seems to have been well received. Robots, holograms, androids, drones, coppers if you prefer. Not so much as sneeze in the city without a dozen different ads offering you a handkerchief. There's a vocal minority that think they're the downfall of civilization, but for everyone else... You're too kind, ma'am. Thank you for your concern. It's hard to hate them when they're so eager to please. Crosswalk's giving me the okay. Keep us safe, yeah? Have a good day, Morgan citizen. It's a bright, crisp morning in the city. Lights changing and people moving in click-clacking harmony, all smooth as clockwork. Were I in a worse mood, it would all be a bit much. But I went out last night, so I'm feeling pretty refreshed this morning. Goodness. As I reach the other end of the street, I pivot lightly and give Automated Dependent Assistant Officer L30 my best impression of a salute. Thank you for your service. And of course, he creaks out a mirrored response. A sense of sarcasm, the poor bastards. Didn't come all this way downtown to poke fun at the only happily employed class in human history. No, I came down here to make an important purchase. Today, I'm going to buy a gun. Oh. Of the Devil, Episode 1. An idle mind. There's staff around, but all the lights are on. Should I have knocked? Oh. What's up? Desk personality setting 6, the cool one. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I've forgotten more about firearms than you're programmed to remember. I bet you can. I recently acquired a license to carry concealed. Nice. Are you in law enforcement? Do you shoot for sport? Business or pleasure? Neither. May I ask why you're looking to carry concealed, ma'am? Oh, you know, assault with a deadly weapon, cruel intent, that kind of thing. Some of my clients live in very rough neighborhoods. Even in broad daylight, coming out to low wards for house visits can be... I see, you're a lawyer. So I guess you're in the market for self-defense. We have a wide selection of options for self-defense in a variety of sizes and calibers with spread and PA fire options available. My bad, PA stands for pseudo-automatic. I know. Concealed, it'd have to be at least be small enough to... This will go a lot faster if I just tell the desk what I want. Be patient, be explicit. Be explicit. I need a mag rail. Word. We're proud to offer a number of models to utilize the latest and miniaturized ultra-capacity batteries to generate a Lorentz force which slings a slug fast enough to miss the limb at over 30 meters. And it's safe? Of course, ma'am. My bad. Two-factor safeties with GPS and emergency surfacing. It won't go off unless you want it to, and someone will definitely come running. All those convenient safety features make it incredibly easy for the police, or anyone who can dupe their toolset, to block you out of your own gun with the flip of a switch. You can walk a piece like that down a single uptown street without passing through 9 or 10 no-fire zones. They're the very worst, most useless kind of weapon a criminal could buy. Sounds perfect. How do we get started? Why does it feel like every desk I run into has to be such a character? Mercifully, it's tucked itself away while the fabricators get the gun tag. What about time to kill? So is there anything worth checking out around the shop? Ooh. Oh, I got chips. He's trying to kill you to clean up a little? Yes, the desk kindly asking customers not to litter can only get you so far if you're not willing to pay someone to sweep up. Wait, is this trash? This flyer, it's scannable? Stagnancy theory, really? They got a lot of self-proclaimed philosophers in here? The Stagnant World, Modern Man's Plateau. Renowned net philosopher Corbin Cawthorne, real name withheld, offers to take you on a deep dive into the global trends and sociological patterns that have driven our planet to the halting point in this groundbreaking and controversial seminar. Moore's Law used to be the benchmark, now it feels like a pipe dream. We used to dream of humanity marching bravely into space, of artisans crafting virtual wonders that made the confines of our own reality seem limited. Instead, our brightest minds spend all their time and effort kicking the can of climate crisis down the road, while their more fortunate peers spend their most productive working years in search, engine optimization, and customer experience design. The middle class, eaten alive by the rich they prop up, can no longer afford the very products they help create. Without mass consumer demand, tech no longer has evolutionary pressures to be as small and powerful as possible. In stagnant waters, only parasites and disease grow aplenty. The only cure comes from you taking action. There's another link at the bottom, probably leading to a collection dish. Or a state honeypot if you want to be paranoid. You better burn this stuff before some neat freak idiot picks it up and gets arrested. I hate these kind of screens. Gotta look at them with your nose turned up, or else they start eye tracking. Next thing you know, they're saying hello on a first-name basis. I got practice with this sort of thing. I could skim the headlines at least. Why the 12/6 work week gives us more free time than ever. I'm 14 and I tried dating a smart UI. It made me the happiest I've ever been. How term limits are anti-democracy. Woof. Transfusion from a warm android saves soldier's life. That's one hell of a headline. The Animate 16 wasn't selling well before. I'm sure by now it's... I'm assuming this episode's going to be about androids. There's some kind of news program playing on the screen. Most public places are too scared to put on any channel without content more political than the smiling micro apartment flippers. This is a Gunstar after all. I was always political. Someone left the data pad out here. What? Okay. Lobo threatens Tetra with ransomware vulgarity. The internationally wanted terrorist and serial data thief, most commonly known as Lobo, has seized a cache of vital Keystone data files belonging to the Tetra Metallics group, according to a press release from the mining conglomerate. In a blitz of cross-posts on 90 different socials, translated into 11 dominant languages, the supposed hacktivist, radical, conservationist, and gentleman thief made clear their intent to ransom said files back to their lawful owners at severe cost. Though the posts were quickly flagged and quarantined thanks to user reports, Lobo's latest manifesto, which we have declined to publish here on grounds of journalistic integrity and due to the strong language contained within, has remained in circulation thanks to the loose network of rogue data harbors. In addition to a sizable monetary ransom, Lobo put out a list of demands that spanned pages. Most prominent among them was a call for de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. I'm gonna take a drink, hold on. Oof. Sources at Tetra refused to confirm or deny reports that Lobo's captured data impacted only their billing services, but insisted that the corporation could not in good faith resume distribution until the ransom situation was resolved. Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack as supply halted and demand rose, stoked by memories of the catastrophic supply chain disruption in the mid-21st century. A spokesperson for Mining is Progress, a lobbying group that represents the rare earth metal industry, called Lobo's repeated attacks acts of terror against the free market. Whoa there, it looks like you're not logged in. Want to take care of that real quick? Lobo again, or someone using their name. I suppose it doesn't matter if they're the original or not, as long as they're a genuine threat. No one could snare a corporation's rich as Tetra without serious skills. It does seem consistent with Lobo's politics, making demands for it. What does he truly want? De-escalation, ransom money. This one says a little politics, making demands for... For the first time, Lobo's voiced their displeasure with the decades-old similar conflict around the tropics. But unless the rare earth metals powering all our batteries and fueling all our pretty little androids are suddenly made a lot less rare overnight, I doubt the state will stop taking an interest in those regions' politics anytime soon. Wait, how long has it been? It shouldn't take them that long to get my gun properly bugged. I'm sorry, we've received a breaking news story. We're seeking confirmation and yes, we have it confirmed. Lead programmer at Noble Electronics and famed designer of the Turing solution, Dr. David Assure, has passed. What? Priority Vantage Automated Dependent Management System along with the Animate series of androids. Must be some kind of corporate propaganda tactic, or... No, they wouldn't risk... fake news? But why? Perhaps best known for his breakthroughs in the field of machine learning and language. Sphration may be trying to... authored many of the developments that allowed for Noble's rapid growth and market dominance. David Assure's dead? Including the popular Desk series of smart UIs. It's very sad. I didn't ask. Sorry, I just... Commands only. Understood. Will you be paying with cash or credit? Debit. 9:41 a.m., July 1st, 2086. The gun was light, lighter than I expected. A real gun should always be heavy, greater than the sum of its parts. That's one of the things I like about them, their weight. Like they're anchoring the whole world around them. Like they're a fixed point in time. Like everything else is just relative to them, either closer or further to the end. I would have liked something heavier during that walk back to my apartment. I would have liked to have something to feel far away from. Morgan's apartment. I didn't realize I was home until my hand was on the door. What is this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Fumbling my pocket for my lighter. Golden, polished, tastefully ergonomic, and fine and expensive. And a good lighter. It was a good gift. Kept the card, didn't I? Here it is. To the only smoker in my life. I know gold's a bit much for your personal style. They don't make a lot of these anymore. Believe it or not, the only other people who share your vice are stuffy old men with bad, expensive taste. But we can manage to get some use out of it anyway. Your friend, David. The news might have more information by now. Or not. Looks like the net's full of copy-pasted statements from Noble, auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quotes, reactions to the news for every micro-slavery under the sun. A raw, authentic emotion brought to you live from all the car seats and bathroom mirrors in the world. But there's nothing about his death, not even a time window. Did he die this morning? Was he found dead in his bed? Has he been dead for days while Noble has been waiting for the right time to let it leak? Or did he die last night while I was screwing around? A phone call? Better not be work-related. I'm not in the right mood. Oh, Morgan, thanks for picking up so fast. It's Jessica Starling. Hospital caller. Hi, Jess. Listen, I've already seen the news. What? Oh, of course, you have to. Sorry I didn't tell you sooner. The company and their people and all that. What I mean is, if it were up to me, you would have been the first call I made. It isn't like that to be up to David's assistant. About 1,000 other Noble employees above her on the ladder would get axed, but it's alright, Jess. No one ever really knows what to do with these kind of things. Still, I'm sorry you had to hear it from a stream, Chiron. What difference does it make how the information gets to me? I could have stumbled upon his course myself and I would feel much the same. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call anyway. Yeah. If I want more information, she's the best source I'm going to get, maybe for weeks. What to ask at a time like this? I'm supposed to express denial first, but she's probably short on time. And I don't feel like following the playbook. I don't feel like following the playbook to the letter right now. Can you tell me what happened? The police, they think he took something. Suicide? The police are already involved? They say it's some kind of poison or... Noble's got a lot of weight to bludgeon the state with, especially in this city. I would think they'd keep the police at arm's length for at least a few days. Listen, Morgan, I need to ask something of you. Of course, Jess, what do you need? What do you need? Much, but she's grieving. This is how to stop people talk. It's not like my day was really salvageable anyway. I'd like to bring you up here, to David's place. What do you mean? There's something I have to give you. You're not handling his will already, are you? The police are involved. It'll be a while before... No, I'm sorry. It's not like that. Before he... Let's go to asthma. No, please, don't hold back on my account. David asked me to get this into your hands. It wasn't work-related, but he asked me. I know I'm asking a lot here, but since it turned out to be the last thing he ever asked me to do, I'd like to get it done. I don't like showing up at crime scenes more often, or more quickly than strictly necessary. And that's when I have to worry about the police. With Noble looming all over, the security will be doubled and scrutiny tripled. This is too risky. There's no logical reason to agree to a request. Swing by my place with a cab, yeah? Besides my own morbid curiosity. Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. Oh, what is it? You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you? 10:11 a.m., July 1st, 2086. In transit. The autocab hums a synthesized purr as our on-ramp emerges onto a canopy superhighway, steadily and suddenly all at once. Not much super about it, but does cost one hell of a shadow. The canopies always felt very arts and crafts to me. Cobbled together, always added on to new, never finished, never planned. They've already taken a lot of time and effort to make, but the end result's still ugly. Feels like it could fall apart at any moment. You okay, Morgan? You look a little car sick. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. If I ignore her text now, she'll just send more later. Witch. Hey, Freckles. Saw your friend Asher on the news. Rip. Thank you. For trying to be sincere. Worth a shot. We all have our strengths. Dang, you are one passive-aggressive little girl. That's all your filial piety go out the window whenever you talk to me. Filial piety doesn't work on you. You love yourself too much to appreciate respect. True, went the train. See, Freckles, you can be very insightful. When you're too busy side-eyeing the whole world. Wonder where I picked that up from. Not from me. I'm pretty sure you're born muttering insults under your breath. The nurses try to make you cry and you responded by giving them self-esteem issues. Did you ever have dealings with Noble? 10 out of 10 shipped in the combo. Fell as a car crash. Solly doesn't work on you either. Well, it might. If you were good at it. This is me asking you for advice. Okay. I guess it's never sunk in. Because you spent most of your apprenticeship asleep. But my clients were all celebs. The rich and famous. I didn't have that many dealings with the Megs that own their likenesses. Is it really that different? Plenty. Slaves don't like people seeing their dirty side. So they pay smart people like me to clean up their messes. But Megs don't like people seeing them at all, period. And also, Megs are a lot more lively when it comes to whatever that is. Gross. Hard workers with a lot of stress to bend. Stop. Do you have any actual help to offer? Truth be told, I did have this one run-in where I got something deep into corporate intrigue. Why? Because I got I've analyzed 45 Poster Girl. Dang. Hard worker. A lot of stress to vent. Glad to know I can always reach out to you in my time of need. I'm gonna let that slide because I know you're in mourning. Look. Corporate types are all a bunch of paranoid drug addicts. Huffing glue and playing roulette on their phones. While fantasizing about stabbing everyone else in the meeting to death. So don't expect them to play nice just because they're sure was your pal. My actual advice is, get whatever you're owed. And get out of there as fast as... Boy! That's a beautiful thought, Auntie. I mean it. Corporations prefer Viking funerals. What's a Viking funeral? A dignified ceremony where the body's sent out to sea on a boat. Then, they set everything on fire and sink the ashes to the bottom of the ocean. Try not to linger, Freckles. You don't want to be stuck on board when they start knocking their arrows. Thanks. What the hell is that about me sleeping on the job? I worked harder in one day than any of you Gen Alpha drunks did all week. Should've worked smarter, lol. If you want to go there. You did literally fall asleep on the job. At the Christmas party. Well, dang. What is that? What is that? How would you have that? How do you have that? It's not even accurate. Our parties are still work, Freckles. I only had my eyes closed. It's your old farts that your cameras flash on. Is something wrong? You're sweating. Just deleting some spam. Got a couple more minutes of crawling through the canopy's guts before we reach David's part of the city. Uptown, Arbedaha. Gleaming opera houses and towering corporate apartments. Boutique shops with more cameras than customers. Penthouses stacked upon penthouses in a frantic climb to the top of the rat pile. All ringed in by restaurants with long wait times and small serving sizes. The joke is that uptown folks go most of the year without touching street level. Not much of a punchline there, it's basically true. By now his whole block must be swarmed with cops, himself surrounded by media, and all encircled by onlookers. I could try and enjoy these last few moments of calm. But if the storm's coming either way, I'd rather use this time to try and find my footing. Actually, Jess, if you got a second, I was curious about that headline. I saw that headline, by the way, the one where a warm android saved that soldier's life. Oh yeah, pretty feel good, don't you think? The folks at the company must have been in high spirits lately, I take it. That's what I thought when I first heard about it, but I don't know. Maybe upper management's never happy. Because they're still just riding sales harder than ever, pushing the traditional consumer markets. I thought they'd start building a pitch for Congress the day the story dropped. Big patriotic campaign telling everyone why we need a contract for warm androids in the military. But I haven't heard about them moving staff around for anything like that. Maybe it's all about above my pay grade. All the corporate power and money in the world. And they're still such joyless douchebags. They won't even celebrate their victories. I'm guessing you've already been to his place. Yeah, it's a real mess over there. Is that bloody? Oh no, and that's not that kind of mess. I just mean with the cops stacked on the media, stacked on the lawyers. Each of them with their own network of drones and all their droning. Very high productivity atmosphere is what I mean. I don't know where you are able to get over there. I got a call late last night. They weren't exactly delicate in breaking news to me. Last night. Said they need my help sorting who is... Oh, you know how you left things organized sometimes. It's been dead since last night, and they've kept it under wraps that long. I had a lot of powerful people in the circles, but to stop it from leaking for over 12 hours. It seems like more than just your typical powerful people trying to control the narrative. It seems more like it's something they're actively trying to suppress. You found out last night. Right, last night. Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have told you as soon as I found out. Really, it's alright. Did you see anything? No, I still haven't actually seen him at all. He was airlifted to the hospital ASAP, and that's where he passed, so... But, well, I didn't get the impression that the cops had been there that long. Not compared to the lawyers, they and the rest of the company, people seem pretty entrenched. No one set up a camp before the police even arrived. So what time would that have been? I guess I got around there around 9 PM? Yeah, because at 9:15 they switched my phone to silo mode, and I got locked out of everything but my work stuff. Send my lost blah at 9:13, see? Gonna expire whoever put me in heels this morning. Hit me. They can do that to your phone? Lock you out of social media? Of course not. Well, unless I'm on the clock, or off the clock, but on company property. Then they can remote on my tech, yeah. How convenient. I got into it at 9 PM. I guess the rest of the company people had been there since 8:30 PM. I hadn't been there more than a few minutes before the mood changed. Word about the hospital declaring him dead had started to leak. I see. Died after he reached the hospital. That's unexpected. It's 2086. You might be in trouble if you get stuck in pure purgatory when you need to be in the emergency room, but other than that, if you reach the hospital alive, a good doctor can stabilize most any patient within a few moments. A Nobel Electronics lead programmer would have a very good doctor. So what the hell happened? Is she mistaken? Is he just not officially declared dead until reaching the hospital for some reason? Or... Hard to think about, I know. Yeah. Hard to believe. Remind me, how many years did you and David work together? Oh, well, I started with the company about 4 years ago. They offered me a temp contract when I was graduating. I was put in HR right in the middle of hiring burst, so I spent 2 months in the Warrens. Then an aptitude test got me fast-tracked to mid-low management. Sorry, Warrens? That's what we called the company dorms back then, on account of all the... well, all the people. Plus it was underground. Didn't see the sun that first month, my skin got so dry. Is that normal in your industry? Normal for everyone I've ever worked with. Except David, of course, but I mean, he was the best. Yeah. One Tuesday morning, Dr. David Asher walked right up to my desk like I'd won the lotto. Said I could come work for him. Dr. David Asher directly. On a random Tuesday morning like it was nothing. He didn't like to do things on Mondays. Said people were always too tired to get anything done anyway. Yeah, that's right. He did say that. I should know by now, right? 3 years of arranging meetings and keeping it organized and occasionally straightening his tie. He was a good boss. He was a good guy. Yeah. When did you last speak with him? In person? Thursday. Thursday afternoon. The day before yesterday. He seemed normal. I mean, I didn't... We still don't really know anything, Jess. You're right, thanks. Thursday's the last time I saw him. That was when he asked me to meet with you. Jess, I have to wonder, what kind of request did David make of you that he couldn't wait a few days? Right, of course. He asked me to give you something... Something? You're trying to build suspense? It's just, well... I don't know exactly what it is. You have no idea. How does he give you the contents of his safe? Are we headed to the bank then? No, see, he has this private safe in his basement. Maybe you've seen it. Well, I say safe, but it might be more accurate to call it a storage locker or a false wall. And all he told you was that he wanted me to have what's inside. Right, he was very clear about that part. Your eyes only straight into your hands. Handle it in person, he said. Strange. This is all pretty analog for someone as technically gifted as David. Coming from anyone else, I'd call it paranoid. But David was never paranoid, even when he had every right to be. If he wanted this handled a certain way, it must be for a good reason. So, David asked you to do this on Thursday, correct? Yeah, Thursday. And he passed last night, Friday. Yeah. Wait, you don't think that when we met, he was already decided it's not healthy to speculate on that sort of thing? More importantly, it's not helpful. They don't have anything to offer the living. I should know. Probably right. Besides, we'll need to focus. Judging by the size of the crowd I'm looking at, looks like we're about to jump into the thick of it. Oh boy. Oh, this game's a lot of reading. 10:34 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employee Housing. Building Platia. Lobby. I thought there were a lot of police here before. Maybe too late to ask, but you're not bad with crowds, are you, Morgan? Just kidding, right? It's downright airing here compared to what we just waded through. Wide eyes and clenched fists, heads peeking over shoulders and around signs. Police, both mechanical and warm-blooded, closing ranks with holograms and quick-set wires to draw a severe perimeter. While protesters, mourners, fanatics, and busybodies shuffle about at the edges of the police line, the heat of their panicked anxiety washing over. Who the hell were all those people? Well, there've always been people with strong feelings about our products. Androids stepped forward into the mob, gently, firmly, unfeeling, parting the human tide. Most of them with official police branding, but a few remotely deputized consumer models emerged from the crowd to join them. All of them built by Noble. All of them built from David's code. All of them standing vigil outside his tomb. This is all technically company property, isn't it? Yep, David had the penthouse all to himself, but every other floor's tenants are Noble employees too. Not an uncommon arrangement in Uptown. Work at Noble, rent from Noble. Leave hello to your Noble neighbor in the morning and make sure to request a spot online at the official company crematorium. They don't actually do that last part, I think. Noble handle employee funerary arrangements. Yeah, it's pretty standard benefit actually. It's cheap for them compared to dental. Noble always been generous with benefits. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after. Both the state and Noble have gotten themselves entrenched here in the lobby. Security and damage control and PR and liability. Everybody just glad to be working. I'm feeling a little overstimulated. Any chance we could just skip all these checkpoints? Haha, no, absolutely not. So do we need permission from the cops or the company? My request went through, so we should have to go ahead from both at this point. We won't need to go near the actual, is it still called a crime scene if it's not technically a crime? I don't want to think about how many suits Noble's paying to debate that question right this very instant. David's vault is in the penthouse's basement, but we can't get to it from these ground floor elevators. Have to ride straight up to the rooftop veranda, walk in his front door, and then head down. It just says we can all do that. We can do all that without stumbling across where he died, then... Okay, so if we just flash my ID card at any problem that comes up, including him. It's London. Hey, ladies. Look, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're at a capacity at the moment. Let anyone else by. We won't be able to maintain... you're that lawyer. Morgan.
You caught me, detective. How long's it been?
Feels like it's been ages.
Oh dear, not still bitter about our last encounter, I hope.
I'll live.
You don't see the spunky one around. She's taking a mental health day to preserve that unflappable charm.
Detective Reese is around. Why? You miss her that bad?
I've had blind pimples that were more endearing. You two know each other? Just Starling, meet homicide detective, Team London.
Pleasure, miss.
Oh, likewise. As you might have guessed, the detective and I are acquainted. Comes to this line of work.
Morgan's being modest, sweetheart. We're practically blood.
Oh, wow, me, sweetheart? Something wrong, Starling? No, nothing wrong.
Close as we are, I just can't let her walk in off the street and onto the scene of an ongoing investigation. Even Noble's lawyer had to play by the rules today.
They are the rules, so there is a game afoot. Makes you assume I'm here for a professional capacity.
You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene? Hold an old man's intuition.
But detectives don't rely on intuition, though, do they? They rely on evidence.
Oh, I don't rely on it, don't worry. I just need to lean on it every now and then when my back acts up.
Oh, cool. Guy gets a bit of grey in his head, thinks it's a free pass to act like a cowboy. I'm afraid intuition's off this morning, detective. I'm here on a private matter.
The deceased wasn't your client?
No, that would have been a conflict of interest.
Conflict? You two knew each other? I see. In that case, well, I'm going to give you my condolences.
Thank you. I could really use a bit of your help.
You sure rallied fast.
Yes. Right. Have this clearance here, detective, sir, from legal, which allows us...
That's alright, little lady. I trust you. You can leave the paperwork also for now.
Lady. Not yet for David, really. Won't be setting foot anywhere near your aging area, detective.
Alright, why not?
How generous.
I can afford to be generous today, because if I screw up...
Gestures to the lobby full of suits and cops.
Plenty of folks at hand ready to pick up the slack.
Well, if you're that at ease, perhaps I can take this time to ask you a few questions.
Hey, you can always ask, Tiger. But I think you understand what I mean when I say whether or not I can answer is not entirely up to me. What the? Sup, enjoying some criminal defense attorney? Hell yeah, I'm welcome in. Sorry, I'm trying to read your name. Favorite or not found? At the comment? Yup. I love this game. I haven't played in like 4 months. Getting back into it. So welcome in.
I'm checking my phone, but the only thing the news seems to agree on is that David passed away.
Sorry, but you've asked for details.
No, thank you. For not letting them make this into a parade. Yet.
We do our best to respect the privacy of anyone involved with an ongoing investigation.
Declined to say victim. Detective, Dr. Sher was a close friend of mine for many years. Yeah, I trusted Morgan more than anyone. Can you tell me if he killed himself?
It looks like that's the case.
I see. Thank you for telling me that. Dr. Ash.
Yeah, you're, well, sorry.
Another round of guarded words. David was an important man, and it's only been a few hours. All this tiptoeing gives me the feeling that whatever happened to David, it wasn't cut and dry. You're looking a bit haggard. How long have you been here, anyway?
Since this morning. Civilized folks don't call it morning when the streetlights are still on.
Even if he got here around 1 or 2 in the morning, that still means homicide wasn't brought in until hours after Noble had the lay of the land.
Episode 2's out as well? Yes, I'm planning to play it soon. I don't know how long episode 1 is though, so I'm gonna have to see. I can't go on forever.
Still... Yeah. Sounds like you could use a break.
I could use a retirement package. Hey, you're a lawyer, right?
According to all my business cards.
Think I can sue for elder abuse?
Not that kind of lawyer, sorry.
You would lose, though. I already regret asking.
Have they got a homicide detective losing sleep over this anyway?
A man is dead, and he wasn't killed by fire, a vehicle, organized criminals, or disinformation.
As far as we know.
So at the moment, homicide's technically an untoward fit. But we're leading in name only. A high-profile death like this, everyone's got an eye on us. And a hand placed firmly on the back of our neck.
You boys and Noble all getting along with each other, sharing your toys.
Some of the younger ones are bristling, but I always play well with others, Counselor.
And how well do the Megs play with you? They give you full access to the building security.
They're giving us access. They say it's full. Some big penumbra system. Top of the line coverage, top to the bottom building. Size of the data stream's torrential. It'll be a while before we can start making sense of it all.
A more conspiratorial man might think that was intentional.
Bury us in data and hope we're too swamped to find whatever they're trying to hide? Maybe.
Wait, they give you full access to the penumbra? That means every android in the building is feeding you their full spectrum.
You know your stuff. The penumbra pulls data from any androids connected to the building's net. That's not much help since
there weren't any androids in the penthouse. Right.
You know, I'd heard the rumors. Never put much stock in them, but it's true. Asher never really owned a single android?
Never.
Well, I suppose I might do the same if I was the genius who programmed them all. Every time they open their mouths, it'd just be
its own lip service refracted 1,000 times over, echoing back at him from behind a masked keycode. So that means all you'll have to investigate with are the penthouse's security cameras.
Yeah, but that should be more than enough to wrap up a case like this. In a good way, I mean. We're very much on top of this, ladies. It's giving tired Kermit the Frog vibes. He does. This is just bad ending Kermit if, like, the Muppets didn't take off and he had to, like, live in the swamp and do crimes. I mean, investigate crimes.
David's one of the biggest names in tech. He was the face for Noble Electronics. One could argue androids are only as common as they are today because of his contributions to the field.
Some people felt that way, sure.
So do you think anyone would want to hurt him because of that?
Remind me, which one of us is the detective again?
You barely won't let me pick your brain.
You already know the answer. Yes, ads are controversial, androids especially.
We at Noble are aware that our products are sometimes subject to heated debate, but
no need to quote the handbook at us, miss. Truth be told, I've never really understood the hate.
It's not that complicated, is it? How many people have lost a job to an ad at least once in their career?
Every last one of them lost their jobs because their bosses, their flesh and blood bosses, fired them. No, ads are just a symptom. Scratch that. Ads are just a product. Getting mad at them is pointless. And vandalizing them is less than pointless, because unlike us, they're all insured.
And besides, Android production and search over the last decade have become one of the nation's biggest exports.
True, and nice to have at least one thing we make in this country.
That's right, Noble only outsources the production of a small handful of internal components. Every other part of the manufacturing process is proudly done right here at home. I somehow doubt everyone considers the specifics of Noble's supply chain to be a point of national pride. We don't need a political science degree to see how much the state values Noble's contributions to the national economy.
Alright, now listen, I don't mind being helpful, and I am trying to be sensitive here. We really do have a lot on our hands at the moment. So I'm gonna have to ask you to be discreet and ideally fast.
Well, our business is just in the basement, David's basement.
The penthouse is on the top floor of the roof, so its basement would be
second to last floor, if you would want to be technical, detective. The point is, we don't need to go into the kitchen or the parlor. We'll go straight back to his workshop and then head downstairs. The kitchen and the parlor.
I understand. But all the same, I'd like to escort you two ladies there myself.
Wow, an escort like royalty. Isn't he a gentleman? Huh? Yes, lead the way, detective. True to his word, London ushered us past the chattering suits and humming drones, through the checkpoints and into the elevator. As it climbed into the sky, we get a good look at the growing throng of people gathered outside. And its shifting makeup. It seems like it's mostly protesters now, or worse, brand loyalists. Idiots led around by the nose their whole life, following the musk bit of a trend that's laid out before them each morning. Today's trial having led them here, for half reasons they couldn't put into words even if their lives depended on it. They're like insects. And they look like them from up here. They're probably already preparing their spin, the misunderstood genius of Dr. David Asher, a video essay in 5 parts. Why the companies start cultivating such a following for him, I've never understood. They could have easily pinned his achievements on someone more marketable. Some random photogenic employee or a fashion model with glasses. David wouldn't have minded, he never wanted the attention, the chaos. Maybe it's as simple as bad luck. He just happened to have the right look for the part. A man buried in his work with his eyes fixed ahead.
10:32 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employee Housing. Building... Platia. Penthouse. This is... what, his laboratory?
His shop, he called it.
How down to earth.
It's messy in here. David was always disorganized. Why a programmer needed to make such a mess just to run tests on computers, I'll never... Sloppy as he could be, he didn't like it when other people saw it. If he was leaving things like this, he must not have entertained any guests down here in some time. Thanks for your help, Detective London.
Don't mention it. Well, you want me to step out?
You won't take long.
Not liking for boldness, are you? Look, I have to take a phone call.
We'll be in and out as soon as possible, promise. Whatever Dr. Ash wanted to set aside for his foundation, we'll be sure to flag it.
Right. At least she's already wearing gloves.
If you find a dead body, you'll be our first call. Morgan, what was that? All that stuff about his foundation? Dr. Ash's charity's always been managed by an outside group. You haven't spent a lot of time around crime scenes, have you? Actually, that's my first. Oh, generally speaking, it's not really common to retrieve things from the premises while the cops are still searching for them. Oh. Oh! Look, if David had something to give me, we can go get it. We just can't make a ton of noise about it, understand? Of course. Great, after you. Right, quiet as a church house. The phrase is quiet as a church mouse, but... Calm myself, I'm okay. But now doesn't seem like the time to correct her. David's shop was a mess, but the mess felt familiar. It was very David. Coming down here, I barely recognized the place. For starters, the damn gym. David hated exercise, always claimed he didn't have the time for it. Even when I got him that treadmill and the subscription for the personal coaching program with the scheduling subroutine, said he couldn't find the time. And then even when I explained to him that the program accounted for that and adapted to his schedule, he still... Morgan, what's up? You're smiling, what's so funny? Nothing, just surprised to see the place renovated. Yeah, he actually had me on mail tag with a couple contractors a while back. You know, I thought I'd have to learn so much about concrete and wiring and marble. Do you know marble needs to be treated or else indoor air will start to corrode it? I didn't know that. Is that true? Wait, is it not? Or guy told me that without an epoxy finish, the entire bar table could... Is that the vault over there, then? Yeah, it stands out, I guess. Nervous? What's that? Oh, a little, I guess. The inhaler helps mostly, so... Aren't you going to open it? Open it? Yeah. Don't you know the combination? No, I do not know the combination to David's basement vault. Oh. Oh. Oh no, how can I have... He didn't tell you or give you a code or... Give me the code to get into the building. In the parking garage. Not the code or whatever this is. Okay. You know... There were a lot of scattered papers back in his shop. Could he have left you a note on one of them? Yes, he could have. He would have. In fact, I think he probably did. You just stay right here, Morgan. I'll have to settle in just a sec. Sounds good. Right then. Well, it's definitely locked. Looks like it's a Tether's basic structure. Verticure, anti-hack, anti-digital, high-rated code panel. Nothing basic about it, at least I can see the password's limited to 6 characters. Only 1 million possible combinations.
Maybe I'll get lucky.
The chance, what the hell, why shouldn't I give it a shot?
There's no way.
Nothing's happening. Okay, that was dumb. I don't really want to dwell on why I thought that would work. Forget it. There's a different terminal over here. Auto security system. According to the label, maybe it controls the whole room. Man, it's password protected too, and the code's 64 digits long. What's the point of a camera system that's harder to crack than your literal vault, you egg-headed... Okay, yeah. The programmer probably would care more about his IoT than whatever he can fit to a safety deposit box. Yes, it's the 6-digit vault or nothing. I'm a lawyer, not a lockpick. Whatever other felonies I get up to in my private times, I've never pulled off a bank heist before. The only tool I got here is my head. So what do I know? I know whatever David put in his safe, he wanted it kept secure. And I also know that he wanted me to have it. So maybe he thought ahead. Maybe he guarded it in such a way that only I would be the only one who could get to it. David liked games, and he rarely liked beating me. So if he's left one last puzzle for me, I don't mind going another round.
It's gotta be in the if the treadmill's here, I'd say it's in there, but she did talk about him and her arguing about equipment.
Take a closer look. This is a pretty serious looking set of resistance training equipment. And these weights, they're all set near the max. If Noble hadn't appointed him a nutritionist along with the stylist, they would be downright scrawny. There's no way he was putting up these numbers. In which case, the digits on weights could be a clue. But there's too many, and I can't guess the order. So what the hell, Asher? Just set all the weights to max because it looked more neat.
Chat, I am going to... Oops. Alt is a key. I gotta remember that. Hey, Jill School, welcome in. I forgot to greet you. I'm so sorry. I hope you're doing good. I will be right back. I need the bathroom. Ah, we're back. Man, I was laughing while I was taking the break. How pumped I am playing these kinds of games versus me playing The Last of Us 2 the other day. But I was just so depressed playing that and I was not enjoying myself. And then just any detective visual novel I will play for hours on end with. This must be a spare liquor cabinet. Exactly. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Maybe a lot of bottom shelves fill. Kind of bargain bin vodka and it's been a whiskey that only an undergrad programmer could love. Nostalgia sweet like that, overpowering. 1 part per million can cover up even the cheapest aftertaste. David's wine collection. Still towering over the room. Don't know why he buys so many bottles, he didn't even particularly like the stuff. Maybe he just had to fill out all these shelves. Not all the bottles are untouched. Some of them don't even have dust on them at all. There's a mechanism for retrieving bottles off the rack. The latest bottle chosen was... A Murder Camp 81 could be significant. Except vintages only list the year they were bottled, not the month or day. Not enough digits for the code. It's a very big painting. It's impressionist? No, cubicle. Cubist, which is still incorrect. Yeah, cubicle. That sounds right. It's not. Vivid style. I do remember that David liked this painting. There's a date in it. That could be a 6-digit password, but I don't see one anywhere. Maybe signing your work was considered gauche amongst the cubicalists. Hardball Queen, be completely wrong about art. Hey. This flooring's a new addition. Looks rough like sandpaper, but it's bouncy, rubberized. Feels like something you drag your feet on at the gym or on a factory floor. It's more high performance than high class. Expensive, but not in the way you'd expect for a penthouse. Oh, scratch that. It's actually cracked here. The rubber doesn't break, it bends. That's its thing. So someone must have cheaped out during the installation, left a defect in. That, or David left a jackhammer on overnight. Alright, I've searched the whole room now. Time to make or break. How the hell would I know? Do I type in with the keyboard? 6, 7. No dice. I feel like there's at least one hint that I came across. Let's try again. Can I access my hints from here? No. Okay. Hold on. No, okay, hold on. No, phone. Showing is also Predator. Predator is an oil on canvas painting by the mid-21st century neo-abstract expressionist Mads Haythorpe. Arguably his most well-known work, it was displayed in Kulaheim's Centre de l'Art Moderne for 9 months. Before Haythorpe entered the premises on 11/25/58 and used a hunting knife to cut the singular massive canvas into 3 separate pieces. When asked for comment, Haythorpe replied, "My works are not complete until they've been signed." This one isn't signed. 11/25/58. Let's try that. 11/25/58. Oh, well that was easy. Password that isn't left in plain sight. Nice one. Hey Morgan, oh what? How do you get it open? What is that? I turned back around just in time to see a door finish swinging open with mechanical grace, revealing a girl. The barcode emblazoned across her temple. Required by law to be plainly visible. It's an android, clearly marked as such. Yet even standing this close, I could swear it's snoring? I stepped forward and placed the back of my wrist on the android's brow. Warm. It must be a prototype for the Animate 16, or maybe it's a prototype for the 17 or 18? A biomechanical android with real human flesh. I'm sorry, biomechanical, yes, but it's organic flesh, not human. They're grown from Lex Gemini cultures, but Sorry, I misspoke. Right, understandable since you seem surprised, yes? Hasn't Noble been working on warm androids like this one for a few years now? Warm androids like this one? I mean, yes, we have... Sorry, it's just this particular model is very, it's very cutting edge. Bleeding edge, just looking by the flesh in those cheeks. I think it's safe to say that we found what we're looking for. I think so too. That presents a problem then. Oh, did you not approve? I've got nothing against androids. My concern is a bit more immediate and, well, practical. Practical? I don't know how to turn it on. Do you see a switch or something? Do you? Yeah, turn it around, or... I poked the android's ribs. A little less give than I expected, given its frame, but the rigidity is remarkably lifelike. Place my hand on the shoulder and give it a shake. It doesn't budge. This thing has to weigh more than... Right, androids mostly transport themselves, so people are always surprised to find out they're a bit heavier than they look. A bit. I'm surprised the whole room isn't slanted. There's no way in hell we're moving this thing without waking it up. Crap. Where's the vault now, this? I'm able to guess the combination just by poking around. Compared to that, finding the Psychojunk's power switch should be child's play. I think I know where to start. Yes, I'm going to step back into the lab for a moment, alright? Huh? Sure, there's gotta be a manual around here. Good idea, it might be some kind of prototype, but still got a barcode. Maybe you can scan this GIN number and find something in the company files. Yeah, of course. All generic ID numbers should be paired with industry standard files and maintenance, tracking, power requirements. I somehow doubt that the enigmatic android taking a catnap in a sarcophagus in David Ashore's basement will have a user manual. But it can't hurt for her to try, and... I'm okay, I broke heel, but I'm okay. I carry glue. I'd rather search the lab by myself. She carries glue. Now then, if I were David, and I wanted to make sure not that only one person would be able to walk out of here with that android, how would I set that up? These appear to be holding tanks for something. How should I know? No labels or anything, typical of a genius. A nightmare for anyone trying to pick up after him. A lot more hard science than I expected in here. Centrifuges and glasses and microscopes. And programmers do all their work with a keyboard. Dang, it's music. Diagrams of human anatomy. The hands are highlighted. Most developed part of the human body, good for making stone axes and sending emails. Robots and frames can do just fine without claws and 3-digit imitations. But androids are expected to look like people and move like them too. Getting the hands right must be a big priority at Noble. That tree-like shape on the right is a neuron. Its branches receive input of varying weight, and then if the sum is greater than a certain threshold, the neuron fires, the 0 becomes a 1, and all the other zeros around it take that into consideration. Repeat that a couple of billion times a second, and you've got the human brain, a computer powerful enough to simulate all of reality. That's the analogy I read in a magazine anyway. Haven't seen one since college, but this must be a 3D printer. Of some sort, feels expensive enough to make other printers look like soda fountains by comparison. Better not mess with any of the settings. Like a fairly normal computer, and lucky this is critically fairly normal as well. Boot up complete. Username. Local commands. David Assure. Morgan. Guest. Thank you for logging on as a guest. Didn't recognize my voice. You can probably rule out a vocal command being the key to waking the android. Do you have a question? More than one. Now then, what should I search for on this computer? Morgan. Search files for Morgan. 23 results on the local drive. I can work with that. Mostly phone book and social data. I don't recognize this file types. Kind of personnel format. Date of birth, education, occupation, blood type, height, and... Wait. Oh my god, a little invasive, don't you think? DNA and fingerprints. Why do you have that, David? My DNA isn't in any database. I've made sure of that. No bought this anyway. He must have collected himself from a wine glass or the like. Would have been easy to do. Why do that? Well, I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture of what it'll take to turn on this android. But the what for the where and how. I'll just have to manage. Still just a piece of machinery. If it really won't turn on, I can always start hitting it. Oh, okay. Morgan, there you are. I looked at every registry I could find and every database I could get into, but I don't think this android's in the system. It was a long shot. Don't beat yourself up over it. Yeah, but an android without the proper identification is only buying or selling an android without proper identification. That's illegal. That doesn't seem like he ordered this online. I guess you're right, huh? I'll have it registered soon enough anyway. I think I figured out what we need to do here. Oh? David really wanted me to have this. He would have left some way for me to turn it on. What are you thinking? David had my fingerprints and my DNA on file. By requiring both, he could be reasonably sure that no one was powering up this android without my approval. You've done a swab before, haven't you? Every month, the company. Apparently they're building a database on employee epigenetics and cross-reference with... Oh, so you're gonna... My DNA and my fingerprint make the key. Where to find the lock? Stick your finger in her mouth. Lips are the most sensitive parts of the body. Not the worst place to make a scan, even if it is gross placing my finger there. Oh, that's... Still not doing it, huh? Come on, do I really need to push my finger deeper? Jiggle the key. Oh man, you went right in there. You touching the tongue? It's blinking at me. Gamomin. What does that mean? Long beat. Good morning to you too. I love the random Monogatari cut-ins. Line number 112. He does the script thing, that's cute. Cute. Hello, I've never seen you two before. I guess we should introduce ourselves then. Hi. This is Jessica Starling. She works for Dr. Sher. I'm Morgan, a friend of his. Got all that? I understand. She's Jessica Starling and you're Morgan? Last name unknown? No, Morgan's my lot. Father told me about you. Aw, he did. Wait. Father? David. God, I'd call you. I am referring to Dr. David Asher. Are you confused? That's not the word I'd use. I'll throw a bone beyond the grave for the good doctor. Just move this along. David said he was giving you to me, transferring ownership. Ownership? That is correct. And what else did? Mostly correct. Right, what else did he tell you? I like this android. She's spunky. Many things. Can you specify? I thought conversation was the first thing David figured out how to program. Did Dr. Asher tell you anything he wanted you to convey to Morgan? A message you're supposed to pass on? Yes. Jess, I think it's trying to... Oh, okay, sure. I'll give you two. Well, I'll give you some privacy, Morgan. I have actually gotten about 14 messages in the last 2 minutes, so... I'll just head it back up to the lab and take some calls, okay? Thanks, Jess. Yes, thank you, Jess. You're welcome. The two of us now. So what do I call you? Ugh. My name is Sarah. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. Trust me, the pleasure's all mine. So what's the message? Father told me that I'd be living with you from now on. Oh. He told me that you would look after me. Would it be the other way around? Should it? Model this lifelike with warmth and breath and something close to blood in its veins. Just what are you, anyway? Just forget my name. You forgot my name already? It's Sarah. What are you built for? You're warm, obviously. You're not one of those physical therapy models, are you? The longer I read Morgan's lines, the more of an accent I accidentally put on, and I'm just curious as to where it's going to end up. That would be highly illegal. I haven't completed 500 hours of study at state-approved massage therapy school. I haven't even completed 1 hour. What purpose did Dr. Sher design you for? I don't know the answer to that question. You don't know why he built you. No? Should I? How could you not? You? Would I be asking you if I did? I mean, do you know why you were created? Why you were born? Why me? Why are you doing this? You're a freak! A monster! What the hell's wrong with you? Please don't kill me. Please. Why? Why? Goodness. Why was a monster like you even born? Guess I walked into that one. I was starting to wonder if he even had the Turing solution. Father's framework had programming linguistics and artificial systems, and the body of work for which he first gained international recognition. Yeah, an international jello. We have an answer to my question. An answer as to why you were created, why you exist. Occam's razor. I'm here because my parents wanted me. I see. And I will give a similar answer. I was created because father wanted to make me. Can't argue with that logic, can I? Can't argue with that logic. Father did say that you're a lawyer. Yeah, that's me. You're a lawyer, and I defeat you with logic. World-class, high-powered, Tony. The best defense money can buy. Do you catch criminals? That's what cops do. Do you litigate criminals? That's what prosecutors do. Then do you fight for the underrepresented? Expose injustice? Save corrupt corporations and officials? I don't think anyone does that anymore. What do you do? I'm a criminal defense attorney. Defender of the innocent and powerless. Uh-huh. You also, now that you know all about me, what can you tell me about yourself? I've never had to do that before. There's time for everything. Now, how old are you? I'm not sure I can give a satisfactory answer. But to answering simple questions, what's the date on your earliest memory? 2 years ago. Where were you? Constructed or assembled or whatever? What facility? I was not constructed in any facility. Father created me here. By himself. You're saying if I took you apart, I wouldn't be able to find any markers for any manufacturers, any IDs of any designer. Want me to take me apart? He was a programmer, not an engineer. How could he build a custom android from scratch in the comfort of his own home? David built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Ugh. I need to drink a lot when I play these kind of games. He couldn't have. He must have had help, probably a whole department's worth. If I ask around, there's got to be someone in the company who can ID this thing. And help me figure out what's so important about it. You don't look like any android I've ever seen. What are you made of? This body is comprised of organic tissues integrated directly into cybernetic systems. They require organic nourishment including water, carbohydrates, and salt. Made warm androids have to eat and drink. They cannot be worth that much trouble. My cybernetic systems operate largely as analogs that are equivalent to the human body. I have a respiratory system for oxygen exchange and a centrally located pump that circulates oxygen. You mean about a heart? Oh, quaint. Where's all the extra weight come from? Pardon? I tried moving earlier and felt like I was pulling against a truck. My skeleton is a combination of of medical-grade plastics and a military-grade titanium carbide alloy. That sure took the wind out of her sails. My muscles are made of adaptive rare earth alloy nano-weave fiber with shock absorption kinetic chain potential rated pass. Wait, did you say military grade? I have a grip strength of 1,000 kilograms. I can run at sustained speeds over 60 kilometers per hour. I can jump 6 meters vertically. I can lift approximately... I'm not sure what kind of grip strength most androids are walking around with, but I've never seen any of them move the way it's talking about. Even just standing here, it seems to be poised. Controlled, spring-tight, strength and flexibility, like a ballerina or gymnast. Strong enough to flip over a tank, lifelike enough to avoid detection. As long as it never stepped on a scale, it would make for the perfect infiltration unit. Perfect weapon if you could keep its development a secret. Did David really put something that heavy on my plate?
Mantling a military prototype in secret. Are you deep in thought? A military infiltration android would look more crew-cut and forgettable. Would David really devote personal time and efforts to make another weapon for the military? I have other features I could tell you about, if you like. If I shot you, would you die? It would be very painful. It would be discharge of fluid, but conventional weapons would not prove particularly effective. That settles it. This thing's a weapon. Sure as I... Would you like to know about my hair? Your hair? I'm impressed you noticed. Each fiber contains a miniaturized solar cell lattice technology, allowing me to remain charged throughout the daytime. That must come in handy. I haven't actually had the chance to use it yet. This room has ambient wireless charging functionality. And I haven't gone outside much. Okay, maybe it's not a weapon after all. You're just a pincushion, aren't you? I'm not familiar with the term. Searching. Pincushion jargon design refers to prototypes filled with experimental technologies to check for compatibility issues. Got an idea, not sure what to do with it. Stick it in the pincushion. As good an explanation as any for what I'm staring at. A mishmash of state-of-the-art military features spliced with odd new technologies and seemingly pointless additions. The end result being a singular, unsellable android. Wasn't particularly good at anything and would break down after only a few years. Pincushions are a small but valid part of the field of android manufacturing. They're valuable to collectors who see them as time capsules filled with their designers' most outlandish ideas and least reproducible results. But even the most nonsensical... Not even the most nonsensical pincushions are built by committee over years with numerous engineers and programmers adding to their pet functions. The underperforming claims to have been built by one man. A man who's now... Seems to got off track there, Sarah. Was there anything else David told you to relate to me? Besides that you were looking after me? He also told me that you were reliable and that I should trust you. He said that I was to listen to you and obey your instructions. Finally, some good news. As you say, Adonai. What's that? The word you called me, what was it? Adonai from classical Hebrew. Translated literally, it means my lord. Whether I call you master? No. Very good, Adonai. Why David use Hebrew, though? Abrahamic myth tells of servants constructed out of earth and clay designed to resemble and obey their masters. Golems. Father must have found the comparison appropriate. Amusing, more likely. It's just a joke. Father would not make light of such a thing. Sure he would. Perhaps we could ask him to clarify his reasoning for himself. Where is Father, by the way? Is he upstairs? When was the last time you were active? 38 hours ago. Thursday night, then. Correct. Right. David Assure's dead. He died last night, understand? How? May I see him? See him? No, I won't be able to see him. Funeral's probably not for a few days. He was not sick. I don't feel like doing the whole song and dance with two robots in one day. That's very charming, but let's go to commands only. What? What happened? Did he have an accident? But why is he still doing the theatrics? Does not recognize my authority yet? The police have determined that he committed suicide. For this time being, we ought to focus on getting you properly registered. Maybe then you'll take the commands the first time I say them and not. The police are wrong. Excuse me? They're wrong. Father did not commit suicide. He'd never do such a thing. Father had... He told me... Look, Sarah. I'm... sorry? You're sorry? I said you were his friend. How are you so calm? I've been around death a lot. Don't try to lecture me about grief, Spearmint. My name is Sarah. You would use it because my father, Dr. David Assure, the greatest program in the world, gave it to me. And he did not kill himself. Let's say you're right. David didn't commit suicide. If that's the case, the police will realize that soon enough. Police already made their The police have already made their determinations. What you just said. Father said that you were a lawyer, that you were capable and reliable, and a friend. You should be looking into his death. That's...
Is that an order?
Of course not. It's a request, Adonai.
A request that I'll have to refuse. The police have their job and I have mine. If I stick my nose into the investigation any further, they'll come down on me hard. Cops don't like lawyers on principle. What they rarely hate are people who tell them how to do their job. Let's go, we need to...
Father asked you to look after me.
Yeah, he did. He also said you should obey me, but you don't seem quite as fixated on that part.
And he said something else. He said that you owed him a favor. One favor.
Thin ice starts here, Spearman. Just between him and me.
Father's gone now, so it's between you and I. I am calling in the favor now.
What?
You don't have to take care of me anymore. Consider that request null and void. You can sell me to some collector, you can donate me to a university, it doesn't matter. In exchange, we'll prove Father didn't kill himself. And you will make sure that whoever hurt him is held accountable. Why are you laughing?
It's you and me, not you and I. You and me. He would roll over in his grave if he knew you'd gotten that wrong.
It's not my intention to amuse or rotate.
No, that's for damn sure. Fine, I'll take that deal, Sarah.
You mean you'll prove that Father did not?
I mean, I'll look into it. I'm a lawyer, I don't prove anything. I just disprove what I can.
Then where do we start?
I didn't realize you had a law degree.
I do not have a law degree, but I am a fast learner.
It's just a job interview.
And I am far from useless. I can...
Brr. The ad did raise at least one good question. Where do I start? I'm a defense attorney, not a police detective. And David was my friend, not my client. I won't be able to poke around at all unless...
And I'm also capable of...
Can you tell a lie?
I am capable of making statements that are false.
Guess that'll have to do.
Are you going to ask me to lie?
Yes. To the police, in fact.
Lying to the police is a felony.
Androids don't commit felonies, they make errors.
I see. What kind of error did you have in mind, Adonai?
This is... I love being an evil little lawyer with a super experimental android who's learning over me.
Are you sure about this?
You have questions too, don't you?
Right now, I'm just a little better equipped to give the answers than you are. Okay, go for it. I'll make sure they're watching. Is the air quality at Noble headquarters kept up to state standards?
What's that?
All these Noble employees seem to have asthma. Father also working under such poor conditions?
They don't have asthma.
Then why are they all carrying inhalers? Yes, ma'am, she's right over here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you.
Oh, it's you.
Did I mess up?
On the contrary. I forget to make his eyes wide. She's DA. Quiet. She succeeded spectacularly in getting Noble's ears perked up.
Emma Rockford! Didn't think I'd run into you here. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be here either. But the powers that be bethink my presence sends a strong message to the Megso. No, wait, what are you doing here?
A few minutes later.
I see, sorry for your loss.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you, Detective Reese, for many kind words.
We can't all be as talkative as you.
Normally quoting poetry would feel pretentious, but you were so genuine in your reading.
Bite me! I don't know if there's a need for all that.
Very mature, Detective. You come up with that yourself. Oh, no, that's Kaguya's signature pose! Like the pop star.
I don't know what you're talking about. You can admit it if you do.
Well, there's nothing to admit, because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is.
Wait, now you're saying you don't know Kaguya is? She's the most famous...
Yeah, well, I don't know who that is, so...
Ma'am! Huh?
Were you about to say something? Oh, well, I'm still surprised to see you here now, Morgan.
You help me to plan services. Actually, the company will be planning Dr. Sher's funeral service. And his family want to take care of that? No. No? No. I see. Sorry. If that's the case, why are you here, Morgan? Ha! Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to disrupt your morning. Hey, you're here for the same reason every other suit they got crawling around. Money. You're not wrong, there are a lot of annoying insects with annoying agendas scouting around before my friend's body's even cold. But the honest truth is I don't even know if David had a will. The company helped him manage his estate. Legal's probably already on it. Actually, judging by how much coffee that intern's carrying into the elevator, I'm certainly off. Right, so if you're not here for the funeral, the reading of the will... Starling asked me to come here, actually, on a matter unrelated to David's passing. An unrelated matter. That's convenient, isn't it? But now that I am here, it's come to my attention that the police have made a determination on the case of David's death. And where'd you hear that? Am I mistaken? No, you're right. They concluded it was a suicide. Always count on her to be blunt. I was worried about that. Yeah, I'm sure you must be feeling. So I'm going to have to contest that charge. What? States have made a charge. I'm arguing against it. What are you talking about? Police believe David committed suicide. Suicide is a felony in this country, detective. It is technically a crime to commit suicide, yes, but we're not in the habit of bringing dead men to trial. Especially not for their own murder, Morgan. No, not a trial, of course not. There would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this. Technically, as a formality. Assuming the courts aren't busy that day. I'm afraid that on this occasion I'm going to have to insist on formality. Yeah, well, you don't really have much to say in the matter, do you? With David gone, I have the only say, really. I am, after all, his criminal attorney. All that money and he's his drinking buddy to be his attorney. BS. I'm also skeptical, Morgan. I'm pretty serious. It's a pretty serious conflict of interest to be your friend's defense attorney. You're absolutely right. It is a conflict of interest. And I would have said as much to him if I had the chance. What do you mean? I only found out that he wanted to be his attorney today. After he died? How the hell did you miss that memo? Embarrassing, isn't it? But to be fair, it was hidden pretty well. Oh, I didn't know you had an Android. Morgan, it's cute. Thanks, but it's actually David's. And it's technically my witness. Witness to what? 38 hours ago, that is, David Assure communicated to me, as a matter of record, the following explicit legal intent. That in the case of any and all criminal charges brought against him by the state, his attorney would be Evangeline Morgan. Evangeline? Amuse. No, seriously, your name's Evangeline. Did your parents name you after a Christmas carol? Should we all be curtsying? It's not that funny. No, of course not. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Evangeline. But you're principally Angel. I hear a couple of yards on told detective. Should I get you tickets? Or have your dad drive you like all the other 15-year-olds? Hey. Feels like you're getting off topic. Or were we just... I was telling you that David Assure wanted her to be his criminal defense attorney. Imagine my surprise. Android's recording of a verbal expression of intent isn't exactly ironclad, Morgan. That's fair. If we were going before an upper-level court, I would expect that to be open to all kinds of scrutiny. We would talk about a preliminary hearing. Or formality, as you called it. If he asks for representation, he deserves representation. Doesn't matter whether he's dead or alive. Am I missing something? What difference does it make? Why would an adjutant would be obtuse enough to sentence a dead man? No, there wouldn't be a sentence, but the adjutant will render a verdict. And verdicts have consequences, even for the deceased. Is that what this is all about? What's he getting at? The court agrees with suicide. That verdict will retroactively affect evaluations of the individual's mental health. Like, whether he was in his right mind or not? Do you know anything about estate tax law, detective? No. I'm sure he'll be happy to educate me. More than happy. An individual found by the court to not be of a sound mind can't very well give their consent to the lawyer drawing up their will. If his will is compromised, all of David's considerable assets would suddenly be thrown into legal limbo. In which case, the state would be legally obligated to come in and pick up the pieces. So this is just about his money. I'm most disappointed in you, Morgan. Oh, well, when you take into consideration all the factors, it's actually more complicated than that. For example... never mind. Stalin, you should speak your mind. All I mean to say is that while Dr. Scher did have significant holdings in art, real estate, and intellectual property, he also, of course, owned a great deal of stock in numerous corporations, principally Noble. He was ruled to not be of sound mind. His shares were to end up acquired by the government. Noble would suffer a serious blow to its commercial image and its standing in the financial community. All of which is to say, there's a great deal at stake here. Not the least of which is the reputation of a man whom I was proud to call my friend. You're not buying this, are you? In case you haven't noticed, the city is working closely with Noble on this. They're not gonna let you bring them any unwanted attention. Starling did her part, they're watching, and they've stopped trying to hide it. From here on out, the gamble. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. Why are you raising your voice? If nothing changes, by the end of the day, the whole country is going to hear how David Scher committed suicide. By midnight, there'll be questions about his competency. Concerns about why the brain inside every single Noble ad was built by an apparently unstable man. The shareholders will have nothing to do all Sunday but brood over that sad thought and all its disturbing implications. By the time the markets reopen on Monday, I would expect a great deal of volatility. That's so. I understand Noble's apprehension, of course, Emma. I just feel like right now, the fiscally conservative thing to do would be to not get in my way. So you've got your reasons, and Noble's got a lot to think about. Why should the district attorney's office devote valuable time to playing out this game of yours? Because they're certain they'll win. That goes without saying. The court should have an opening at 6 p.m. I didn't have anything planned. Then it's a date. Detective, would you get her clearance set up? Yes, ma'am. Updates every hour, yeah? You're out on a limb, Morgan. Better not linger. Here. Clearance for all relevant sites and police firewalls. You can interview and investigate with your authority as an officer of the court now. If you haven't already been doing that. Don't even think about being slapped with discovery on this. Rockford might think you're funny, but I appreciate the warning, Detective Reese. It's nice to know you care. I live to serve. And protect. Phew. Thanks for the assist, darling. Yeah, no sweat. Are all cops like that, or are they more like Detective London gentlemen? Most cops I've met are like London, yeah. Cody's implied and friendly. Lazy. Oh. Right. Well, I'll see you at the courthouse tonight. If you need anything in the meantime, don't be afraid to ask. Good luck. Both of you. What do we need now? Well, I have a few options. I have access to the crime scene now. Probably the best place to start. I'd like to head over to the company building as well. To get me registered? Among other things. Either David killed himself or he didn't. If he did, it's almost certainly his douchebag corporate overlords who are to blame. In which case, I'll want to take my sweet time raking them over the coals. What are you doing? Nothing. What about Father? When can we see him? He'll be at the morgue by now. The medical examiner will speak to me, now that I'm operating under the court's authority. But if I stop to flash paperwork at every nurse and security guard with nothing better to do than ask questions, I'll have to... What's that look for? Your father's friend. Thank you again for reminding me. Aren't there people you'd like to speak with? Other friends you'd want to know? Bad news travels fast. I'm sure everyone in the country has heard about David by this point. But all that heartbreak did keep me pretty occupied these last few weeks. I was never one to cry. There was someone who could tell me more about David's personal life for the last several months. It's worth the effort to find them. Do you have someone in mind? Maybe someone you met recently? He spoke about coming close to someone this year, a musician. Now that you mention it, it was a P.O. Something that David might have mentioned when we walked back in. I will begin a search. I've completed my search. I found nothing. Thanks for the old college try. That's really the best you can do. While I was a private man, in person and online, with a few letters and the fact that he was a musician, I'm afraid we don't have enough information to narrow down the results, Ed and I. No, we have plenty of information. We just need the right person for the job. What kind of person is that? Oh. My throat's drying up. Precinct 11112. Containment room 001. And who would you even have called? I don't know. I still haven't gotten my phone calls. Did I got you? Who are you? Ex guardian? You foster parent? Oh, I mean, I call you mommy. I'm not really the motherly type. Hey yo, we might actually get along. So I've got good news and bad news. I'm not your guardian, I'm your lawyer. I'm given a lawyer because you're being charged with a felony. Fascist pig, skipping school's a felony now. Hacking into a government database has been a felony for a very long time. That wasn't me. They have your keystrokes, your IP address, your login times, and the playlist you were listening to. That was for a homework assignment. That's what I don't get. You got in, copied the data, could have gotten out. The state wouldn't even know they'd been robbed until they saw their passwords show up on the black market clearance 2 weeks later. But you didn't get out. You stayed and made changes to their database. You robbed the bank, got clean money, then dragged a can of spray paint behind you all the way home. Why? Look, I didn't steal anything. I wasn't already compromised, and the only data I edited was my own. So if anything, they should be thanking me for correcting their mistakes. What, did they get your birthday wrong? My name. Name changes are only 2 pages of paperwork. You just need to fill out the form. And get a signature from a parent or guardian. So, what's the good news then? The good news is that I'm your lawyer, not your guardian. The hell? That doesn't count as good news, that's just a thing you said. Don't be so sure, a lawyer's a lot better than a guardian. How's that? Parents, guardians, foster whatever, they're all supposed to take care of you because it's the right thing to do. A lawyer is someone who always does what's best for you, no matter what, because that's how they get paid. So how good are you at your job? Devilishly good. Hello, Moncur. Pronounced clear. I know how it's pronounced. I don't. I probably butchered that. Don't call me that. I met Fran at the police station. I couldn't help but bet that I'd landed the jackpot. All the assets, failing, chat, I'm failing. Valuable asset with skill set complementary to my own personal and private pursuits. Someone who, after seeing the sweetheart probation deal I managed to land for them, would be more than happy to help me with whatever I need, whenever I need it. Always so cold, Fran. Can't I even get a good morning? No such thing. Nothing good's ever happened till the afternoon when people are actually awake. What I got instead was a compulsive liar with a horrific sleep schedule and a crippling addiction to poor time management. What do you want, Red? I can't call you up just for fun. Not if you don't want to get blocked. I need you to find somebody for me. Alright, do it. I got homework. You both know the only time you ever do your own homework is during the class is due. I got sports. You can't tell a basketball from a hockey stick. And I got a bidding war to win. You're the only person on Earth bidding on 70-year-old Coochie and Air Jordan vintage reps, Fran. I think you can take your eyes off the auction block. So yeah, so sorry I'm busy, so I was hoping it's straight to the carrot portion of the routine, but if you insist on doing this from the top. Huh? I had an interesting conversation with your parole officer yesterday. Oh yeah? I've been rarely into the self-prefixes lately. What? Self-motivation, self-actualization, self-help. Oh. And he thinks you could really benefit from it. Lying. He's got all the workbooks ready.
Barely all Saturdays are stacked. I'll make sure your Sundays are full of... Fine, I get it. I need you to find a local musician. Musician? No, yes, I got lectures. We have some other awful. Last name Powell or Parker. And that's all you got? We'll be in David Assure's circles. Wait, Assure? You're working with that? Should be more than enough for a clever kid like you yourself to go on. Don't go expecting any miracles. I need this soon, within the hour, ideally. You know I have other clients, don't you? Other clients who actually pay you on time? A musician. Find him. Even talking over the phone, you're very animated, Adonai. What do you mean? Just that you're very expressive when you talk to people. Of course I'm expressive. I wasn't. How would I know? How would anyone know what I'm thinking? I see. I'll keep that in mind as we... Wait, you really expect to tag along? Of course, Father was... Yeah, I know you want to. Why should I let you? Because I'm capable and helpful? Uh-huh. I mean it, I can take notes for you. And move heavy objects. And I'll learn to do more. How? I will subject every individual we encounter to a basic survey to procure biographical information, and then will I gain experience in questioning. Subjecting them to torture. I can't help, Adonai. How fast can you fill out forms? Fast. Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. I'm coming. Right away, Adonai. Cute. Stretch. 11:45 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employee Housing Building Patia. I always forget. Penthouse, the dining room. Pretty quiet elevators, huh? Dining room. Could have taken the next one. It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our account. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start? Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves. I have been to crime scenes before, you know. Long before the police get there in many cases. Look, Rockford asked me not to get in your way, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna bend over for you. You at least have the autopsy report? No. Are you seriously? I don't. She doesn't. The report should have come in hours ago. It wouldn't take this long unless the cause of death was still... And I'd settled for a summary of the preliminary findings. An emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system. Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within the minute. We landed on the penthouse's helipad at 8:08. Dr. Assure was found unconscious with low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. In-flight auto triage administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken to the emergency wing. I see. Cause of death is being investigated. Make an educated guess. He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they had the machines take over. His brain activity dropped to 0, and there wasn't anything else they could do. It was poison, wasn't it? What kind? You don't know, do you? Ah, they don't know either. Like I said, ma'am, we don't have the autopsy report yet. Why are you certain it was poison, Adonai? Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose? If he had to overdose on a commercial drug, even a pre-med student would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralize his bloodstream, and he would have lived. But he didn't live. So it must have been something deadly, a compound designed solely to kill. Fast-acting deadly poison that causes respiratory failure. The list can't be that long. Even just through process of elimination, the medical examiners should have identified it by now, unless... You suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective? Why is it you're only quick on the uptake when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given what we know, and what we don't. But the CDCA decriminalized and cataloged all recreational drugs. Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics. So whatever Father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database. You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs or recreational drugs. What is the difference? Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmacies after years of testing and mountains of paperwork. while the average designer drug was invented last week, and a 19-year-old line Cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. I came across makeshift labs all the time when I was in uniform. Equipment's cheap and wildly available. Black market cooks, grey market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists, all chasing each other's tails in a long line to make the next big hit. CDCA doesn't change it. More people die from ODs than ever before. The only difference is it's their families finding them in the living room and not beat cops finding them on street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure. If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that was a criticism of law enforcement. Not law enforcement, just the law. Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated. For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, whatever he used to do it, he still killed himself. Or didn't kill himself if you insist. I'm going to take a look around now. Yeah, sure, make yourself at home. What's that face for? I thought there would be an outline. An outline? Around where they found Father. Like in the movies? Like in film. Connect to the police network and bring up the ARCS file. Augmented reality crime scene. I see. ARCS, user protocol authenticating. User portal downloading. User portal initializing. Oh. There is an outline. So this is where he died at the hospital. This is just where the medics found him. And it's the sensors and cameras they're wearing that create the basis for this ARCS? We didn't realize they were walking to a crime scene. But the body cams gather data all the same. Where do we start? You can start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible. I'm starting to get a feel for when she's pouting even without looking. It says here that when the medics arrived, he was on the floor face up. Does that tell you something? Oh, I love her. She's so cute. Hey, if you were going to drink a glass of poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it? I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario. The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost consciousness, I would expect to find him slumped over the table. But he wasn't found slumped over. No, he wasn't. If he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward, or at least collapsed less neatly. So what can you conclude from that, Adonai? Only that I'm missing something. Better take a closer look. Oh, cool. Spilled alcohol. The ARCS showing how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substances in the puddle, it's clean. Does mean wherever the spill came from must be clean as well. Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old. You recognize it? Sure, he was more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand, only a bit of a price, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world. It appears that the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matter present was their conclusion. Is it possible the police missed the poison? No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to a bottle off the store shelf. So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle of whiskey was poisoned. We'll have to find out a smoking gun elsewhere. 2 cups, one empty, one knocked over, and one mostly empty. These look cheap. Did Guest bring them? I've seen them before in the basement liquor cabinet. He kept these lying around. I knew he regifted those crystal glasses I got him. ARC says there's nothing found in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on the other cup, however. It's bone dry, must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just not enough there for them to test. Inconclusive can mean... Inconclusive means inconclusive, that's all. Cheer up and read me the results of the fingerprinting. Father's prints are in both cups, as expected. There's someone else's on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with them last night. Slow down, all that proves is that someone else touched the cup. Doesn't tell us when they did it. And since we don't know who the prints belong to... Adonai, why don't we know who the prints belong to?
Are the prints flagged as unidentified, or... No, there's a space for the name, but the field is black. Damn, am I already that late to the action? Detective Reese. Yeah. There's a second set of prints on the cups. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nicely you ask, sometimes people just can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid you'd say that. I don't understand, Adonai. What does this mean? It means that whomever these prints belong to has very proactive representation. These prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name. That easily? Subpoena is always an option, but I'm short on time. What did the witness have to say of themselves, Detective? To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Assure last night. The two of them talked, they had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. The EMTs came in, took them both to the hospital. Assure's condition got worse, all the witnesses' vitals were normal. The witness had their vitals taken, when there should have been a record of their admission at Gatesfield. And that's it. I'm guessing you didn't just take all of that on faith. The number set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, we can guarantee that the witness never put anything into Assure's drink. I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it. Lawyers plural. I don't have time to trade jabs with the law offices of Johnson, Johnson, Johnson & Johnson. So how about I give you their business card? Law offices of Koshler, Gustav, Prince & Prince. That was close. No way I'll be getting any client information out of them directly. All you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch. Yeah, I bet you'd like to watch. What? What's that even mean? I don't know, I need a moment to think. So that was it. One chat, one peek at the cams. You've already eliminated them as a suspect. Look, they were searched, they didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. If they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as the dead man. As far as the department's concerned, they were nearly the second victim. But they aren't dead, or even ill from the sound of things. So you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured for the both of them from a safe bottle? That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. After drinking from his cup, a cup prepared himself, he fell ill and the witness didn't. And Assure died with this foreign substance in his body. Must stay hydrated. An unidentified foreign substance. Suicide by poison. I get that you were close and simple explanations aren't all that satisfying. But that's life. One last thing, you just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the parlor to get the drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement. The witness says that, not the cameras. There's no cams in the lab or the basement. This seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble not set things up more carefully? It's intentional. If cams of his lab ever got hacked, outsiders could steal his IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb. Right, David did complain about Noble's weird protocols for combating corporate espionage. At least we can take comfort in knowing that Father wasn't alone when he died. Yeah, that's worth investigating. Password logs, but already cracked by the police, it seems. All the doctors are home safe, nothing spicy. When was it last used? 7:45 p.m. Still reading murky. Was only a few minutes before he committed suicide. Morbid. A lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. Hey, it's the news story from earlier. Warm android blood saved soldier's life. In a stunning and heroic episode, one of our nation's brave soldiers had their life saved by a noble android, and in a way that no other competitor's product could. A brave private, name withheld, was wounded during a military operation whose exact nature and location is currently classified. Bleeding badly and far from the nearest triage station, he was carried to safety by his fellow freedom fighter, an Animate 16 Enforcer, one of the few warm androids being currently tested out by the armed forces. But the android didn't just sit there and wait for evac. It opened up its own arteries and pumped life-saving UD, universal donor, synthetic plasma into the young man's veins, stabilizing him long enough for him to reach a military hospital. I have no doubt he'd be dead if there was any other android fighting alongside him, said one commanding officer who asked not to be named. I always thought Noble was only good at making ads that look good. Now I know they got something inside them that no one else can compete with. The story brings a well-deserved shot in the arm to Noble's stock prices and market share. With this one heroic moment, Noble's warm androids have proven themselves to be worth their price tag, and then some. The people in the capital are paying attention. It's certainly an interesting idea, Senator Maything said when asked about committing to a military contract for Noble to provide the armed forces with more models. The story's got people talking. If we just ignored our constituents' feelings on this matter, we'd be neglecting our duty as politicians. And I know none of my peers would ever try to put a price on the life of one of our soldiers. While additional details about the incident have remained closely guarded, the net is already ablaze with talk of, "Oh, dang, you're not logged into this device. Why don't you pop your user details down below and enable ROM so you can get the user experience you deserve." It's the article that I've seen going around. Why would Noble have it marked as priority? Starling said there weren't any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. Starling said they weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. Easy PR. Nice fat bump in PR for Noble, one of their ads saving a soldier's life. Said they weren't really struggling with popularity to begin with. Guess more good press never hurts. Ah, it was the military contract. Dang it. One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting. One chair pulled out a body of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. I always admired this view. Buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the rundown, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary, maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible. Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows? Not through these windows, no. David installed a wide-spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars. I didn't know that. Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were viewing the penthouse for more than... Why did he care so much about his windows? Good question. A chessboard and a datapad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CX, D4, NX, D4. This is... a cipher? Kind of secret message, perhaps, or... Black has checkmate in 40 moves. Wow, a robot that's good at chess. What? Put you in a museum? I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you not play at an eye? No, especially not against David. Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing. Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it always seemed too... boring. Too fair. The smarter player wins every time. That is something you take fault with? Of course, how's a guy like me supposed to win a game like that? Oh. Police androids are monitoring the scene. Redeemed hydrate will do, Dual Score. Thank you for the hydrate. Ew. This game is a lot of reading. Moments mistaken for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't in person. David didn't even let you have a mirror. Brutal. Just scan its chin if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room. Which leaves the kitchen. Said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guest. What about in here? Only camera in the kitchen's the one mounted on the call terminal. The console took a snap image when the witnesses ran in to contact emergency services. May I see it? Unless you scrape the witness's face off the pig first. Don't tempt me. This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? 8:05 p.m. Before you asked, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I was going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m., remember? Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air. Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took him to Gatesfield. The very best, if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like he could afford a lot. He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Caduceus's executive... wrong person. Caduceus's executive plan 4 isn't like most people, counselor. Yet executive level. Not like most people at all. David's fridge. Normally I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer. Some real cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. You spraying me? Some white wine. Old habits. Reese, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement. Ah? For the cam show, yeah. I need a drink right here. Unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. Must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry? I'm an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic? Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I too ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. It's when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, I become tired. What a great feature. When I'm done digesting, I don't need to know. Three unwashed dishes and a single glass. Reese, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet. And I just assumed you might want to do your job. Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim. There's also... Huh? Hey! Stick up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you. You knocked over the salt, Adonai. Focus on the task at hand. You realized tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod. Adonai, the salt! As I was saying, the witness's prints are on that glass. That glass in the sink. They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. So when did they touch this glass? You need to toss it over your shoulder. Wait. Witness. I love her so much. Witness must have thought I'd given the guy some water, but he could have just choked him if they had tried. What, do you think this glass is the murder weapon? It's bad luck, Adonai. Whacked them on the back of the head so fast it went between video frames. It's genius. You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. Sure. It's bad luck. What have you been going on about the salt? The machine be above petty superstition. It's not a superstition, it's ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care then. Too much salt spills onto your food. It'll make you gag. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there. Messy workspaces, but a pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. As he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen or protein bars for all 3 meals, or 2, or 1. No signs of food prep have been found, not so much as a cheese board. So whoever this guest was, they must have shown up unannounced. You've now had a chance to survey the crime scene. Yeah? So you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield, along with 100 noble megs for cold dibs. I'll just have to cut the line. Sarah, get me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What, you can do that, can't you? I can. But I need your payment information to get started. Yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down. Got it. Sync complete.
Set pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gone quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot might be an ambitious target, Adonai.
How bad can it be? 12:21 p.m. July 1st, 2086.
As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail. The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's not panicked yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Well, this many people miffed at Noble for selling Android? The hell's got them all excited? Adonai, what's that symbol mean? In this rebel? Probably something vulgar. Which one? The heart with the bullet hole. I don't know. It's probably nothing. Based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the Heartbreak Killer. Doesn't make any sense. Would that freak have a symbol or a following? These... whatever these people are. Why the hell would they be outside David Asher's apartment? Noble's trying to cover up the truth! They are? Those Megs in there are scrambling to shred every document they can. We just stick together, form a perimeter, and try to catch them when they go out to dump the scraps. Sarah, what are you hoping to find? Proof that Asher was killed trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want the world to know that the A-16 is sentient and homicidal. You think the Heartbreak is an android? You think whoever did all that was human? Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing. Started killing random people. Don't be a lamb, it already looks random. There's a clear pattern as long as you're smart enough to see past all the BS. Oh, okay. And how does one see past it? Stop engaging. Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims were related. It's gotta be deniable odds. They all have been in DO together before getting their records bleached. As soon as they've outlived their usefulness. What are you, nuts? Everyone knows the first 6 HK got to were the 6 prototypes that came before him. Form androids so perfect, no one could tell the diff. Put to the heart's the only way you could kill those other over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got an opinion. I see. Stop seeing, stop moving. These people aren't sane. You need some more slop, douchebag. You think you'd be the cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? I think it's a coincidence victim number 6 was working on Harco crops. They're putting something in the food. These people, Heartbreak, this is an embarrassment. The hell am I paying taxes for if the state can't shut this down? What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this Heartbreak figure? There's the murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer. They must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious? Why? Are you some reasons for committing murder better than others? They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have... Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. If there's only one Heartbreak, do you think they're just born that way? That's my guess. That's unsatisfying. Sad. I don't see why it would be. Heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else. If Heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people have to ever worry about turning out like them. That kind of predestination, it means they never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility as soon as they catch them. They make it sound so trivial, the way they're a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just... If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. In order to have killed 413,789 people. Is that in your head? I'm good at mental math. Not at the leap years. What's the significance of that number? Deaths within 18 months of the Blakeford industrial disaster. Times that number by 2 for the injuries, tack on another 183% for the birth defects. 413,000 dead, and there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding, and time. So you think Heartbreak is nothing by comparison? Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to.
Please make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse. Keep walking, pigs. Fascists. Noble owns the cops. Only the cops they build in their factories. Very... Oh, wait. Very funny. Why are they tolerating this? You want me to wait in the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong? You know what I mean. There are many people in the city trying to do some good, and they'll just... It's just part of their job, detective. No offense, man, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more hate than... Think of prosecutors' badges. I have an idea for the parking garage. Does that count? Depends. You ever hesitate to wear it in the open? This is moral relativism of yours. Seems like a strange philosophy someone in your profession had, and I... Breaking out of the Thors... Breaking out the... Breaking out the thesaurus on me. I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, Sarah. Whatever I do, right or wrong, it's less than a % rounding error in the grand scheme of things. Do you tell that to your clients? No, but they come to appreciate it when I win. I don't mean cops in particular. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. Terms are stark, but the ink dried a long time ago, and we all agreed to them. I don't recall voting for it. I'm not voting. That's how things come to pass, so... We traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. State won, the citizens lost. For at least we can do is take their criticisms head on. Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority. Only with the authority being challenged? They treat us like we're the bad guys. Well, sometimes we are, sometimes the law's wrong. So if any given individual is too small to ever affect change... So if the public's gonna hate us no matter what we do... Then corporations and governments will trample over people the same regardless of their character. If we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing... What do you do, Adonai? The hell do we do? I think it's pretty simple. Not as complicated as you think. In times like these, in a world like this, the only logical way to live is, the only moral way to act is, do whatever it takes to win. If I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of things, I can do my worst and no one will notice. Power is inherently evil, holding back won't save your soul. Just fight with both barrels, and trust the opposition to do the same. Winner takes all. Ooh, I love this game. (12:59 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Gatesfield Memorial Hospital. Ah, thank you. You're a lifesaver. The next time that bridezilla texts you, just turn your phone off. Chatty guy must have been due to go on break. When he tried and failed to find the witness's medical record, his data pad with the name blacked out. But I did see that they have Caduceus Executive 3, more expensive than David's, which means they most likely. How did you do that? You need to hold the button to get the door to close faster. Mashing does nothing. That's not what I meant. There were many others who arrived before us. How did you get us down here so quickly? Well, I didn't do anything. It was that nurse who escorted us. Yes, but you managed to get a stranger like him to help you with so few words, little information. I don't think you even gave him your name. Haven't you heard of the Golden Rule? Of course I have. Treat others how you want to be treated. Wrong. Treat others how they would want to be treated. He wanted someone that he could vent to. He wanted someone to pay attention to him, and he wanted to feel appreciated. Which meant he'd be eager to help given the chance. Even just reading someone's mood is quite difficult. How can you know how other people want to be treated? There are no mind readers. No one can ever know anything about what anyone's thinking. Maybe not even themselves. Doesn't matter if they're your parent, your twin, your lover. It will always be a gamble. That is not a very comforting sentiment. Well, I think it's fun. Because you're good at it. How did you get so good at it? Same as anything. Observation and practice. You must have been observing and practicing for a very long time then. So we proceed down the hall, bear left, look for the fourth door. I'm gonna open the one that says morgue on it. Hmm? Oh. That design is beautiful. I'm saving that. Oh, hey. Come on in. Don't stand out there in the cold. Wouldn't be accurate. Sorry about the chilling here, but I'm a little hot. You can see my roommates never complain. Yumi Sato, medical examiner. Dr. Sato, just the lady I wanted to see. Well, I didn't expect that I'd get to. The fact that they've assigned a medical examiner and not some ad or junior means... you can just call me Yumi, and you're... Morgan. I represent the deceased. The deceased? Oh, the deceased. Asher D. Wait, really? That's so weird. I know this time slot was scheduled for a group of normal PR people. I know, weird, right? Oh, what the hell do I know? I'm just getting tired of hosting megs anyway. I gotta finish typing up this report before we talk shop. In the meantime, feel free to make yourself at home. What's this? The hospital's getting renamed. I said hospital. Wow. I've been reading for way too long. What's this? The hospital's getting renamed. No, I guess it's some other hospital that got snapped up. Hospital renamed to thank Ikaria family. In a ribbon-cutting ceremony held uptown today, Plata Memorial Hospital was formally renamed the Northeastern Ikaria Medical Complex, in recognition of the family's incredibly generous donations over the last several years. It's the latest in a string of philanthropic efforts by the family to result in a name change after they paid for the renovations to the orchestra hall and the retrofitting of what used to be known as the Scout Arena. It wasn't so long ago that the Ikaria were better known for drawing blood than donating it. Back before the 50s, they had a fearsome reputation for cutthroat business practices. Had their business rivals... Excuse me. Going so far as to accuse them of involvement with organized crime. After the founding of Rennigan Medical over 25 years ago and its subsequent sale, the Ikaria have moved out of the business world and into the upper echelons of society, that are sometimes mockingly referred to as the Neobility, a generation of newly minted aristocrats born from the unique and chaotic economics of the mid-21st century and the Red Decade. When asked her opinion on those who label her family House Ikaria, at the hospital's renaming ceremony, Rennigan board member Mireille Ikaria had this to say. In this country, anyone can make a name for themselves so long as they're willing to put in the work. Mock new money all you want, but the truth is that success is all about reinventing yourself, and the only ones comfortable with that are... I'll log in, okay. The Ikaria, I guess they weren't always in the same line of work. Now they're plastering their name wherever they get themselves all the nobility are eager to prop up the image wherever they can. That must go double for the Ikarias, assuming the truth about their criminal past is anywhere close to the rumors. That's a lot of screens. There's got to be diminishing returns on productivity. Why do you have so many monitors, ma'am? You can't just ask someone that. Good question. Every quarter when they do inventory and budgeting, they ask me if I need anything, and I never do, so I submit a blank form. I guess a while back there was a +1 in a spreadsheet somewhere and no one's ever corrected it, so boom, I get 4 new monitors every year. You run out of things to use them for? Sometimes, but this year I've started running 2 dramas at once when I'm doing road work, which helps. Watching 2 television shows at the same time helps you do road work. It helps me use it at screens. I see. Are these all dead bodies? One would hope so. I only meant that I'm surprised to see them stored here. It suggests a backlog, which suggests a higher murder rate than the public data would lead one to expect. You only examine bodies for the police, Doctor? Oh, I wish. Most of my job involves confirming COD on natural deaths for insurance adjustments. Insurers want to blame the mod for failing, mod makers want to blame Stiff for not exercising enough. Family says the company insurance plan pay for mods, but not a gym membership. Yeah, that whole world is suspected defective liver mods, suspected leaking internal biobattery, suspected CCIC. Climate change induced complications. We can prove that climate change contributed to an otherwise natural death. Very, very rarely. If it can be proved, what does that mean for the family of the deceased? Plus or minus 14% on the life insurance payout. I mean, it's most of what I do, and I don't dislike my job, it's just... so much of what I do just boils down to telling a bunch of cheapskates how to split the dead man's bill. It's enough to make a homicide feel like a breath of fresh air. She's finishing up over there. Right, okay, so what's up? Take your time, Dr. Sato. My first question would be, what was the cause of death? Oh, well, hey there, cute android. I didn't even realize it was really cute. The skin is, it's remarkable. Even just looking close, you could tell they really are warm. Still not quite human body temperature, but they've come a long way. The early gens all looked flush, felt like they were always running a fever. They ran like it too. Even 2 years ago, the average warm android only lasted... Sorry, but the circumstances surrounding this particular case call for expediency. Right. So what can I tell you? What's that? Be able to determine the cause of death? Oh, cause of death, sure. We got that much figured out at least. Why doesn't that sound particularly reassuring? Dr. Asher died of respiratory failure. Not enough oxygen in the blood, not enough blood going to the brain. Root cause being widespread depression of the central nervous system. What would the symptoms be? What would it have looked like? Lightheadedness, followed by dizziness, then headaches, slurred speech, exhaustion, loss of consciousness, and finally respiratory arrest. Report shows that the EMTs tried intubation and resuscitation through electrical stimulation repeatedly. By the time he got to the emergency room, they were desperate enough to attempt direct artificial blood oxygenation, but it was too late. Give me 1 second, I need to plug the phone in. Yeah, there we go. And you're certain of all this? Oh, well, most of it, sweetie. Most of it? Yeah, it's turned into quite the puzzle, and I'm used to having more pieces to start with. I'm surprised the man as rich and famous as him didn't have any kind of biomes, but his files show he wasn't a viable candidate for modding. Yeah, that's right. Without that kind of first-hand tech, we don't have nearly as much data as we'd like. But he was extensively monitored from the moment the EMTs arrived. We're very certain about our conclusion. Do you find anything else unusual about his body in your examination? Cuts or bruises? No injection sites, nothing in any cavities. Nothing at all, huh? Please mention a tox screen. Yeah, that's the thing. They ran a tox screen when he first arrived. Typical diagnostic intake procedure. Based on the emergency call, they figured he must have overdosed on something, but the tox screen gave him nothing. After he died, we performed the broadest screenings possible. Nothing. So we were forced to conclude this was a natural death? I didn't give it that easy. I took blood samples, compared the makeup with his own record and his previous medical history, and I managed to isolate a single, non-naturally occurring chemical compound that wasn't there before. What was it? Some exotic toxin from a different hemisphere? I wish. I ran it through every available database we have access to, and even a few I only sort of have access to through some friends. Not only does it not match any known poison, it doesn't match the chemical makeup of any registered compound. So it designed a drug, huh? That seems to be the best explanation. What the hell did you do, David? You said it didn't match any registered compound? What about compounds that aren't registered? As friends of yours, private sector folks? Yeah, pharmaceuticals. One of them patented a new compound, a new drug. What would keep its formula from going on the record? In the private sector, intellectual piracy is the norm, so you're expected to protect your research aggressively. Patent first, find use later. Yeah, a patent would have to at least describe your compound in brief, but depending on what country you file in. I've heard it may be considered prudent to keep the actual chemical off the record. Smart, using international IP law as your own personal minefield. How so? Whenever you're ahead, patent as much as you can, as fast as you can, but bury the formula so no one knows where it's safe to walk. Anybody small and ambitious comes along, finds a new drug they're excited about, you flip up your card, let them know you came up with the idea years ago. And that'll give them death by 1,000 court dates if they so much as blink. Wouldn't work on anyone your size or bigger, they could punch back, but for the rest of the field... Wow, you corporate lawyers are scary. I'm not a corporate lawyer. So you came up with that strategy just now? So it's possible that this poison's actually a known substance? Something that the hospital could have easily identified? If it wasn't considered a trade secret. Yes, unfortunately that is a possibility. Still, just because a drug is new, that doesn't mean it's original. Does the effect of this compound head remind you of any other drug? Maybe one that's prescription only or a controlled substance? One you might know by another name, but with a patented structure? Sorry, sweetheart, it's a general depressant. There are a lot of drugs that have that effect on the body, and they come in all shapes and sizes from all kinds of places. If the effect is unremarkable, what about its strength? Could you estimate how much of the stuff he had in his body, all told? Not precisely, no, not with detailed knowledge on its half-life, but I guess that it must have been about 20 milligrams. Is 20 milligrams a lot? Well, for a medicine, this wasn't just an overdose of something relatively harmless then. No, not if 20 mil is enough to crash the entire nervous system. Thank you, Yumi. Of course, so... You ready to view the body? We could skip it if you want. I know most people get squeamish around corpses. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Okay then, let's get started. I love this game so much. Alright, I'll step out for a moment and give you some privacy. Yes, please, thank you. The last time we talked was on a Sunday. You were complaining, I remember that. Principle of the matter. Right, you'd ordered this cheap piece of garbage sculpture or something by mistake. It came damaged and you wanted to send it back for a refund. I gently reminded you how, with your salary, it was literally not worth your time. I kindly offered to throw it out for you, since you're having so much trouble letting it go. You're only offering because you want to see how loud it sounds shattering at the bottom of my trash can. I denied it, even though you were right, and it was obvious. Should have let you have that one. I thought that he would look different. Huh? But he looks exactly the same as I remember. His skin is pale and he's very still. But his face is the same, his hair, his hands. You were expecting something more drastic? The last time I saw him, he was alive. He smiled and he told me he would see me soon. Now he's dead. Something's gone. And I can't find the difference. I'm trying to look harder, but I think I might just not be capable of it. And I wonder why. Why was I created to not be capable? Could it be an issue of skill? Girl said skill issue. Or maybe it's not something that can be seen, no matter how hard you look. But it's there, I guarantee it. I've seen the transition enough times to be sure that between life and death, the distinction has significance. For the dead, at the very least. You're going to smoke? Here? Now? I'll pay the fine. That's not the issue. You're expecting me to fall to pieces. Real boys grieve in all kinds of ways, Pinocchio. And some don't grieve at all, it seems. I'm a cold woman, sorry to disappoint. The hell? How the hell would this thing light? Adonai. You have your cigarette backwards. Oh! Oh! Oh, Morgan. Oh. Dang. They hit us with the JoJo. Oh. I love these two. They're such a good dynamic. Oh, that was so sad. Oh. Alright, that's back into cold storage for him, so... Need anything else? Can you send the chemical makeup of that compound you isolated? Sure, for what it's worth. I mean, it's got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen with hexagonal structures. This was organic, but there's a number of metallic elements too. And if you had to speculate on its intended use based on what we know of its structure, well, it certainly acted like a depressant, binding to receptor pathways and affecting the balance of neurotransmitter reuptake. Depressants are pretty rare in the designer drug scene. True, people are always looking for a higher high or a crazier trip, but a more powerful depressant will just make you fall asleep. Not much need to hit up the gray market for that kind of experience. No, there's not. I see. Thanks again. You've been extremely helpful during a very difficult time.
Hey, anything you need, give me a ring. That's very generous. Rockford's orders got me on call, so I'm already getting overtime for the whole weekend. Glad to hear it. Goodbye, Yumi. And goodbye to you, Greenie. My name is Sarah. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
13 p.m., July 1st, 2086.
Up on ramps and down off ramps, above skywalks and under tram lines. The buildings get progressively more polished as we head into the most economically developed part of the city. Corporate territory and national headquarters for the likes of Howe Industries, Lockcoon, Tethys, Knight. Neither of them sheltering their micro-city of employee accommodations beneath their skyscraper shadows. Whalefall, the entirety of the ocean floor coming together to feast and grow and live. With the fetid, rotting fat of the leviathans that swallow generations of people by the mouthful. Weight is commonly listed, and my weight is... Do I really have to disclose that? Noble lays claim to one of the largest shadows in the city, a towering nerve center for the whole nation's android industry. It's meant to be intimidating, I'm sure, but today I'm glad that Noble keeps such a sizable physical presence here. I need answers about David and his work on Sarah. Answers I'd never get browsing the company website or speaking to a representative. Synopsis. Relationships. There are typically trivia sections. Well, should I start there? Noble will have their guard up, of course, but even that, they will tell me something. Where they let me walk, who they let me talk to. History. Their efforts are performative transparency and clumsy obfuscation will... How did you know my father?
What?
I'm sorry, did I interrupt your brooding?
No. What did you ask?
My father, you were his friend. But what was your relationship like?
Why don't you just scroll through our socials?
Father avoided social media. And your online presence is not significant.
You're saying I don't have enough followers?
Essentially.
We went to the same college.
You studied programming?
No, I studied all kinds of different things as an undergrad, but not technology.
Is that a good way to prepare for law school?
I wasn't preparing for law school, or anything else, really. David, though, he had talent, and he knew he wanted to do something with it. He studied programming, robotics, discrete math, cybernetics.
What classes did you share then?
Business ethics. I was the second best student in the class, and he was the first. He was the one who asked the most questions. Not sure about his actual ranking. He found the course challenging, and I clearly didn't, despite being younger. Guess he felt a burn. He'd come up to me after class to argue, and sometimes to ask for help.
Father always talked about socializing like it was a chore. It's kind of you to give him a chance.
What, like I was some kind of social butterfly? The belle of the ball?
You weren't?
One Sunday night, he knocked on my door, panicked, saying he was in bad shape for this tech course. It was a midterm or something the next day. I couldn't make heads or tails of the material, but I did my best to at least quiz him. He wasn't satisfied, though. He wanted to cram the rest of the night.
Father had to cram for an undergraduate midterm?
Did I say something scandalous?
He's been called the founder of modern programming.
Yeah, well, even founder types can have poor time management when they're 21. He was already fried by that point. It wasn't hard to tell what he was really asking for. So I went and stole his study aid for him.
You stole a controlled substance just to help him with studying?
No, that'd be insane. No, I just pocketed some breath mints from the common room. Told him to pinch his nose and swallow fast, because the taste is so strong.
You gave him a placebo.
He already knew the content as good as he ever would. What he needed was to sleep. He could barely keep his eye open by the time I got back from my daring heist. It didn't take much convincing for him to rest his eyes just until it kicked in.
And the test?
B+, I think.
I'm surprised that father stayed close with you after that. You stole. And lied to him.
I stole and lied for him. David understood that. He was good at understanding things without me having to spell them out. But I guess that's not the kind of thing that gets passed down through programming. Anyway, we kept in touch after that. First year of grad school, he published this paper.
Turing Solution, a framework for programming adaptive linguistic heuristics.
One of his advisors came up with that title. David thought it was way too cocky, but
it still hasn't failed any known Turing test in the years since.
Don't act like you're the one who deserves credit for it.
Called me one weekend asking for advice on how to handle all the tension. Job offers, interviews, apprenticeship, invitations to immigrate. What did you tell him? I don't remember telling him anything, actually. A lot of our conversations went like that. He would talk to me about whatever personal or professional problem was struck in his head that day, and I would nod while he wore himself out. At the end of the conversation, he thanked me, even though I hadn't offered a single word of advice. He took Noble's offer, and they took over his education, paid him to work on his masters during the day and attend corporate training at night. And whatever else Noble may be, they were smart enough to start listening to him early. You're referring to his one-point doctrine. Quality over quantity. Simple and elegant, just like his code. Simple and elegant, but anathema to a global corporation with supply chains designed for maximum capacity and just-in-time manufacturing. But obviously, they got over their distaste fast enough. In the span of a few years, Noble's gone from making manual labor ads for meager profit to being the world leader in intelligence as a service. Even as he was making money hand over fist, he still kept in contact with a nobody like me. I moved to the city for my apprenticeship. He helped me put a down payment for my apartment. Then made up excuses as to why he couldn't help me move boxes. So is that enough detail for you? Thoroughly convinced that he and I were, in fact, friends? I am. But Adonai, that favor you owe him, what was it for? That's private, understand? I have zero interest in talking about it with you. Say you understand. I understand, Adonai. We will be arriving shortly. Shall I send word ahead? Just tell them that David's lawyer's here. Ooh. 2:49 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Electronics Northeastern HQ. Sub-lobby A8. I've been here before. Sat right here in this lobby waiting for David to come and treat me to lunch. At least I think it was this lobby. Could have been some other floor, could have been an entirely different building. All these corporate towers of Babel feel like interchangeable fractals to me, folding in on themselves in patterns of narcissistic paranoia. So monumental in the scale of their hubris, they needed to use non-Euclidean geometry when drawing up the blueprints. The greatest minds of each generation coming together, just to find the most expensive way to shove their heads up their asses. Adonai, is something bothering you? Just doing the math of how long we'll be kept waiting. Apparently someone will be here shortly, so maybe if I pass the time clearing around the place, it'll improve my mood. And that is where we're going to save it. We only get one save slot because we're playing High Roller. Oh, I love this game so much. But for now, I have somewhere I need to be in 20 minutes, so I will find someone for us to... Ugh. Come on, girl, you made it this far on stream. You can finish without stumbling over your words. I'm gonna find us someone to raid. Let's see who are my friends online. Thanks for coming out, everyone. I adore this game. I like voice acting. I'm not too good at it. I like reading visual novels, and I love detective games, so this is just right up my alley. Let me see who of my friends is online. Ooh, perfect. Alright, gang. We're going to raid into Fairbanks. They are a super cool artist cyborg, so very fitting. Fairbanks. I got it right, hell yeah. As always, thanks for coming out. Hope you have a good day. I will be in Crystal Curves, which is my graduated friend Prism's Discord server. We're going to be watching, I think, either an anime or a movie. It's still a public vote. And I hope to see you tomorrow. We will be playing this tomorrow, so we're going to finish the episode, I think, hopefully, tomorrow. Should be a lot juicier. It's going to be the court and the gambling and such, all the crazy mechanics. Other than that, be good people. Be sure to stay hydrated, tell Saku he's cool, and I will catch you next time. We need a raid message, I clean forgot.
Devil Warrior Brat. Evil Warrior Brat. If you don't have my emotes, they are free for anyone who's following. But feel free to use your own if you can't use them. Thanks for coming out, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow for more of the Devil. This was really fun. Nah.